Okay, that took a second. For some reason, the Streamlabs was working. Hi there, everybody. Welcome to Roll with Advantage. Welcome to the Isles of Iverion, session 101. Very excited for today's session. We have all of the Forerunners of Fate accounted for, so very excited to dive into tonight's session. Just as a quick heads up for next week, as of right now, we still will be playing next week, but we will be missing out on Kayla as next week is the opening of her show at her school, The Play That Goes Wrong. Very excited to go and see it. I'm sure it's going to be absolutely hilarious, but Kayla's going to be a little busy, so no Nalfian next week. But we will live. We will live. So let's go ahead and roll the intro and dive in.
I don't care. If I have to die, I am not spending another second under your control.
I don't believe that's you. I've met the teacher at the mausoleum.
You met a lie!
I don't want to watch the people I love die and do nothing.
You can't tell me what my spirit tells me isn't true.
I'm a pretty good judge of character, so just keep that in mind.
I suppose that's right.
Realizing that they fucked up.
And we're back. So let's go ahead and dive into today's session. Picking up where nope, that's not how we do this. As is tradition here on Roll with Advantage, I do not do the summary. I have the players do the summary. This week on summary is Ryan. So Ryan, whenever you're ready, feel free to dive into Yorick's summary.
All right. Respite on the Bay, Book 7, Chapter 14. The Forerunners take several days to help rebuild the area and take care of the numerous soldiers injured from the battle. They receive a letter from Captain/Lord Heather Scott informing them of a celebration of their victory will take place in Dragon's Bay, with the king himself being present. Twig takes the time to explore more of Oakcarn and comes across a Forester vault that Marcella was never able to open, though she would later return with Elias in order to have it opened, which she would receive several relics of the Foresters. On her return trip, though, Twig follows some black roses and finds a grove untouched by corruption. She communes with the spirits and is able to speak to both of her parents, who look down on her with pride, both able to rest happily at seeing their daughter safe, happy, and back home. Yorick heads over to Lila, asking her to perform legend lore on Aventahala and Emerald. While they learn a little about Aventahala, it's Emerald that proves the most interesting, as the Forerunners witness the creation of the Emerald that they know, while seeing the Dark Emerald as himself, a time before the Dark One held sway over him. During this time, the Dark One notices what Lila is doing, but seems to allow her to continue, though clearly makes its presence known. Nalfian heads off to find Twig, and the two speak of how far Twig has come, and more on the deal that Nalfian made with the Green Lady. They reiterate their love for one another, and both state how proud they are at how far the other has come. The Forester name is clearly in good hands. Yorick calls Twig down to the stables, asking about how she feels now that the lands are officially reclaimed. They speak of responsibility, of fears, and Yorick reaffirms to Twig that he believes in her, that her heart will lead her through the toughest times. He also speaks with her about the Hells and his potential at ruling it once the War with the Dark One ends. He asks Twig to speak to Lawrence, asking if the horse would be willing to follow Yorick into the Hells if that's where their path leads. Lawrence agrees, and Yorick uses his magic to turn the horse into a nightmare. Lila takes Nalfian to pray, walking him through the process and vocalizing her own prayer. Nalfian imagines physical forms of the party based on what he thinks of them. Lila is pulled by Corellian and embraced with care, love, and appreciation, and leading her to the next step of her destination. Nalfian, meanwhile, has his prayer answered by Pelor, who looks upon Nalfian favorably. Lila excuses herself and follows Corellian's directions, eventually finding a beautiful area where the sky opens up, revealing one of the star signs that she has been looking for. Lila reaches out, and something reaches back, as Lila witnesses the stories of Twig's ancestor, the one who originally made a deal with Marcella. As Lila witnesses the tale, she receives a boon from this ancestor. The next morning, we're like halfway there, guys. The next morning, Nalfine finds the Green Knight, who guides him down a path away from the camp and is led to a tree. Nalfine makes his way through the tree and exits out in the Grove of the Green Lady. The Green Lady appears and explains that the protection from Twig is to be withdrawn. However, she rewards Nalfine's loyalty and heart by enhancing his armor, increasing its strength. Aventahala arrives and informs Yorick that his actions in the Hells didn't halt Glacia's attempt to claim the Throne of Hell. Instead, she has pinned down 3 other archdevils standing against her. Aventahala believes that the party should save them, but also make them sign their fealty to whoever the next ruler of Hell should be. It's currently undecided between Eurydice, Yorick, the Radiant Dread, or herself. She also promises to return with a gift for Yorick within 5 days, something to help him in the Hells before returning the party to enter one of the circles of Hell. The party finally heads to Dragon's Bay, with Yorick filling the party in on his chat with Aventahala. Lila speaks to Yorick, wanting to find a way where he wouldn't claim the throne himself, insisting that she believed that he had earned the right to enjoy the world that he fought so hard for. Yorick asks Lila to find an answer where it didn't have to be him, and he would take it. Upon arriving in Dragon's Bay, the party are greeted with a party, and much celebration from Heather Scott and the king. The party take the time to enjoy themselves and reconvene with several old friends and colleagues. They rest, feeling like the heroes that they have become, enjoying their brief respite before their journey down into the Hells. The end! Thanks for coming, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, there you go. A 7-hour summary. Didn't hate a second of it. Sorry, I was scrolling through looking for something as I was saying that. So let's go ahead and dive back in. But before we can go to the present, we have to rewind to the past for just a moment. And we'll have to stay in the past for a little bit, and then we can be in the present. Make sense? Okay, cool. So we're gonna fade away from the summary, and we're going to transition back in time just a little bit, because Joe is just an absolutely silly guy, and sometimes he forgets things. So as we rewind back just a little bit to the moment when Twig entered the vault with Elias Harwood, the steward of House Forrester. Twig, as you step down into the vaulted area with Elias, as you place your hands, fingers and palms up against the vault door and channel that druidic magic in, you can feel the vault click and shift. You feel it begin to open. And just as you saw before, the door swings open. And there is this breath of fresh air that hits you, one that you haven't had in quite some time. This air of light and laughter and freshness that has been devoid in this place for as long as you've been here. As you step through the threshold of the vault, gripping on to the staff, your crossbow slung around your back, you can feel the magic of the vault begin to twirl, to shift, to coalesce around the head of the staff. That embodiment of nature of House Forrester, these Feywild magics that run so deep in the line of your family, imbue themselves into this staff. Twig, you are not sure if it is the staff itself, the staff that was given to you so long ago back in the Riverlands. You're not sure if it's your connection to House Forrester, and the staff is merely just a conduit for it. Whatever it is, the spirits of House Forrester that lie within this vault, they imbue the staff. A staff at one point that, unbeknownst to you, was dormant, with natural energy that now grows to be awakened. As we talked about already, Gemma, the staff is now awoken, and you can actually add it to your inventory now. So remove the other Staff of the Grove Warden, and there should be another one on D&D Beyond that is Staff of the Grove Warden, parentheses, awakened, and that's the one you can add to your inventory.
Sick that.
Yeah. So there is that. So that is past thing number 1. Past thing number 2, however, is not with Twig and the natural world. Instead, we need to move back even further. Back to the moment before all of you fought Morchella. In this time, in this place, Eurydice, you and Solar, one of the members of the Silent Shields, Loghain, you trade places. As Emeril needs your assistance with fighting everyone. Although in that moment you are nervous, you are scared, Emeril makes a promise. Nothing bad will happen to you, and he will not let everyone's magic overwhelm either one of you. He imbues you with true sight, so if there are any magical illusions, you will be able to see through it. But with that, you leave behind your companions at this pivotal moment, and you head with Emeril to fight against this edge of shadow. So, upon stepping through the portal, the next several days, about 4 or 5 days, you spend with Emeril. You spend those days with him, as well as Sigrun, the three of you together. It is a fever dream to you, Eurydice. The journey with Emeril and Sigrun is a cascade of swift, blurring landscapes and heart-pounding encounters. You recall the moment that you stepped through that shimmering portal, and you recall the moment stepping out into a world of shadow and deception. You have no idea where in Illica you are. All Emeril can tell you, all he knows, is that this is some place that everyone has twisted to their own mind, to imitate them. A rift that has been created from the astral sea near their prison that infects the land. It is everywhere, and it is nowhere. And everyone controls it. Although it is overwhelming to try and track down the Forsaken known as Everyone, you bear down and you continue. The land is eerie. It's a place where reality seems to warp and twist. There are trees all around that follow your movements, and the ground itself seems to breathe. Emeril, with his potent divine sorcery, and Sigrun, with her indomitable strength, lead the way. You can see that both of their eyes are alight with determination and chaos, and you follow suit. In that forest of whispered secrets, you encounter the minions of Everyone. These creatures of nightmare that constantly shift and change forms, melding from one grotesque creature to another. In one fight in particular, you watch one of those servants shift from a Glabrezu, this demonic, fiendish creature, into a young black dragon. Then you watch it shift into a bone devil, and then into an owlbear. One creature to another, to another, to another, shifting and embodying all of the characteristics. The breath attack of the dragon, the pincing claws of the Glabrezu, the incredible strength of the owlbear. These creatures shift and change to be whatever they need to be, whenever they need it. But you fight back. So many battles, all of them so chaotic. But luckily, through Emeril's magic, through your own, and through Sigrun's strength, the three of you stand back to back to back, and you tear the deceptive flesh from your foes. But it seems as though Everyone was always one step ahead of the three of you. Each clue led to another dead end, a mocking echo of the void. The Forsaken's presence was like a specter. It was always felt, but it was never seen. You get a small edge. There seems to be at one moment where you, Emerald, and Sigrun come out ahead. Before a room, a vault of sorts, can be destroyed, collapsed back into this warping reality, you, Eurydice, are able to grab what looks to be a bundle of dark parchments. They seem to be almost dissolving immediately as you remove them from the room, but Emerald is able to put them in a sort of stasis. And in this foreign, ancient language to you, the old tongue, he's able to read them. In a moment of eerie quiet as he reads, around the twisted woods, the eyes of the trees following you, you can see his expression grow grim. They're planning something, Eurydice. There's a final play, it seems. Split between here, in the material plane, in Adarashi, and in the Nine Hells. Time is thinning and the shadow grows bold. I will do what I can to try and prevent the rift in the sky from breaking forward anymore. I'll return to the Astral Sea. I'll try and hearken upon your allies there and try and stop it from going any further. However, it seems as though you and your companions will need to descend into the Nine Hells to stop whatever plan the Dark One and the Forsaken have there. And I will send word to the Wanderers in the Salamander Coast. Hopefully they can stop whatever the Dark One is planning in Adarashi. For now, though, I think it's best that we return you to them. Get out of this forsaken place. And with that, the three of you grab hands, and through the spell Teleport, you vanish. And Eurydice, the area that you enter could not be a more stark difference, as it is bright daylight. The sun shining down, people celebrating and jovial, as you and Emerald and Sigrun are just covered in muck and blood and tendrils of shadow. The shadow peels away and dissolves like a vampire exposed to light, just turning to ash, as you enter into Dragon's Bay, seemingly in the midst of a celebration. As you begin to walk throughout the city streets, there are some people that recognize you in particular. They recognize you from the events of Sand Point, from Hearthcrest, from Raven Rock, from Highland Pass. There are people that recognize you. They celebrate Eurydice. They celebrate the Dawnbearer. They thank you for everything you've done. And it is such a jarring moment because before you were surrounded by silence and shadow and fear. But now you are welcomed in this place. It is an overwhelming transition, to say the least. What you stumble upon before you're able to commune with your friends and tell them of what you find, or what you found, there is a hush that envelops over the audience. You can see your companions a short distance away, and you can see a very familiar bard to you take the stage, William Bosserman. His voice is a little hard to hear at the start, but it grows into a boom. And I won't go through and say the entire thing all over again, but he wrote, instead of writing a play to dedicate to all of you, he instead chose to write a poem to encapsulate the love and admiration he has for the heroes of Iverion and Tarkir, for these people that have stood tall, that have protected the nation, so many nations and so many people. There is a part in his poem where he speaks of you specifically. The stanza that he recites says, "Ablaze with fiery might in Wheat Hill's desperate hour, the Dawnbreaker cast her light and felled the shadow's power. With chains of darkness shattered, her radiance did unfold, a beacon missed the gloom, her story brightly told." And continues to go on to talk about the events of Sand Point, Hearthcrest, and how all of you have stood so valiantly against the shadow. As the poem concludes, as the audience cheers, your companions, they stand, thanking Bosserman as he exits the stage, and the festivities continue. Not wanting to interrupt the moment, of course, you allow it to play out. But all of you, the party members who had been here in Dragon's Bay this whole time, you turn and you see battle-worn Eurydice, Emeril, and Sigrun beginning to walk towards the group of you. So, as that happens, Emeril will approach and he will say, "As I promised all of you, I return Eurydice safely. She was a great help. Although we didn't learn much, I know that she was instrumental in seeing past everyone's terrible disguises. So thank you all once again. And Eurydice, thank you once more for helping us."
It's it's not a problem. I mean, I think we learned quite a bit. Not so much on everyone, but the rest.
Yes, very much. I wish there were more details, but and you can see he sees all the people that are like gathered around staring at all of you. And he's just going to sort of warp some arcane sigils, and there is a bubble that's going to form around all of you as he casts Divine Sanctum. So pretty much nobody outside the bubble can hear, so it's only all of you. They can still see you. It's
really funny.
it's like blurred, it's like a privacy screen. And no amount of
Cone of silence.
yeah, no amount of divination magic can see here with either. So you're safe from scrying eyes, which has been an issue.
Yes, it has. First, I think Lila, as soon as she gets the opportunity, would just run into Eurydice and like hug her. Just like really glad that she's okay.
Yuri's like, "Hi, I'm really covered in blood and mud, and you look like you're wearing really nice clothes, and I
like
don't
that's
want to."
stopped us before.
I know, yeah, but you're wearing nice clothes.
You have like what's that spell? Krista did I can't say it. Lila could. I can't. Just clean me off.
It's nice to see you guys. I really missed you. That place is it's so weird. It messes with your head.
Well, for what it's worth, Emerald's student I don't think liked the trade either.
Emeril laughs at that. He's all right, though, right?
Physically, yeah.
Mm-hmm. He is alive.
He'll make it.
I'll need to speak with him. The language you're using is only slightly concerning.
Look, he'll get over it. He'll be fine.
You keep saying things that are veiled in mystery, so I'll need to do some discoveries on my own. But
Look, this will make him a stronger person, is all I'm saying. No, I'm
okay,
done.
all right. But the thing that we did discover that I think is important for all of you to know is we were able to find tomes, bits of information that were sent to everyone by either the Dark One or the other Forsaken. There's a final play, a final plan that's being laid out to be executed. Something to fracture the sky even further and to end the war against the light once and for all. I don't know the specifics. All I know is that these two plays are happening. One in Otarashi, in the Salamander Coast, and the other here. Well, not here, sorry. Emerald doesn't say that. The other one happening in the Nine Hells. I don't know at which lair of the Nine Hells it will be happening, but I'm assuming it has something to do with Glacia.
Yeah, she was our next stop anyway.
Good, good. Then the pattern is weaving just as it should to put you where you need to be to prevent the downfall of everything. Good, good. Well, then. I don't have much else I can provide for all of you in terms of information. I'm more than happy to return your friend, and I should be heading to the Wanderers to give them a small heads up. Yes, you have something to say, Yorick?
Yeah, well, you might not have anything for us. We kind of got some stuff for you, and he'll look at Lila.
Yeah. I know it's private here. Is there a way that you are able to just see a memory that I have?
Yes, I believe I can do something like that. I think the closest thing that he could do, I mean, we'll just say it works just to make things easier, but he'll use telepathic bond, where you can pretty much describe something vividly, and Lila's so smart that he gets the picture.
Yeah, but I think she would, like, before saying anything or, like, revealing anything, be like, I think you really need to brace yourself for the information. I don't know how it's going to affect you, potentially. So if you want to move to a different location, we can.
No, this is fine. I'll be all right.
Okay. And she will provide the memory of everything they did when they did the
Legend lore.
yeah.
You can see as you begin to go through it moment by moment by moment, all of you can see Emerald react in small ways initially. And then towards the end, you can see he kind of shakes his head as you finish describing the memory and he finishes witnessing it. He lets out a short breath. I don't. It just doesn't make sense.
Which part?
I mean, we know that you are simulacrum.
Yes, yes. No, it's something that he said to me. Not within the memory itself, but I guess it just slipped my mind because of everything that was happening. I didn't bother to say something about it. He came to me, somehow, in that desperate landscape that all of you saved me from. He offered me salvation. He offered me a way out. But more importantly than that, he offered me an end to it all, to the cycle. He said
Being
that,
what?
I don't know. He said that if we worked together, if we did this together, we could stop it. We could end it once and for all. I don't know if he meant breaking the weave, if he meant destroying the Dark One, if... I don't know what it was. But I am his creation. But what's also concerning to me is... before I met all of you, before I met the Wardens of Afera, looking back now, I could see that I was slipping down such an awful slope. I was reveling in darkness and shadow. I was doing evil, unspeakable things, and I was feeling nothing about it. I was making the world a worse place, and I was enjoying it. I was being corrupted somehow. And maybe that's what the pattern has always had in store for me, and I'm just But thanks to the Warden, to all of you, to the Wanderers, and to the Salamander Coast, my life has been changed for the better. I'm doing good. I can feel light within me. I don't know.
That didn't trigger any memories that he gave you that maybe he potentially modified? It doesn't ring a bell, what you saw?
You see him think for a moment. There's one thing. I don't know if it's my own memory or if it's his. But I remember Nabia Tamon. I remember ascending the steps. There was no flame. So I made one.
What?
Like the flame had gone out?
I don't know. I remember ascending the steps. I was seeking the flame, I thought. But it wasn't there.
And call me ignorant because, well, I am. But the flame isn't it supposed to be like a great life force to everything?
Yeah, it's supposed to be really, really important and not there. How is it not there?
I don't know. It was one of the first gifts. A torch for all of humanity against the shadow.
And you were able to just recreate such a powerful flame.
Well,
With again, no offense. Trust me, I don't doubt any of the power that you have, but that seems to be it.
You don't remember when this memory happened, though? It's just a memory you have.
No, there are so many. So many. It's why I don't linger in my memories very often. And judging from that vision, the amount that was poured into me, it makes sense. They seem so disjointed, like I've lived 1,000 different lifetimes. That's why when I met the Wardens initially, I thought that I was a copy of a copy of a copy of many simulacrums, but it's just I have so many memories to dig through.
Have you asked for help seeking through them?
Well, up until I met the Wardens, I had no interest in digging through them. I wanted to stay ignorant in the shadow. I wanted to forget. And now, ever since my path has been reset and I've been working with all of you and the Wanderers and the Wardens, it hasn't seemed a priority. If there are people in Odero or Thoral or Macavia or the Gemstone or the Mountains of Durandor that need help and you all and the Wardens and the Wanderers can't be there, then somebody has to help them. So it only seems right that I put aside my personal mission for peace, for unity of my own mind, for the goodwill of others.
But in your memories, in the knowledge that we haven't been able to piece together, you might have an answer on what we need to do to solve everything. I mean, I'm sure you of all people understand that knowledge is power. And maybe it seems daunting and horrifying and traumatic, but maybe it's time to be brave in a different way.
I understand what you mean, but what if, theoretically, I delve deeper into these memories and I learn what twisted this individual that created me? And what if that corrupts me too? What if it's inevitable for me? And the only way that I can avoid it is by moving forward and not looking back. Is that really something all of you want to deal with? Two corrupted immortals roaming the world? Serving the great
Joe-
Lord of the Dark?
I have a question,
Mhm.
like a clarification question. The way I understood the memory that everyone saw was that Emerald wasn't corrupted. Dark Emerald wasn't corrupted at the point of creating.
Yeah,
Like-
one of the things he said is that I believe he said something to the effect of, if anything ever happens to me, if any type of corruption ever takes hold of me, you need to be better.
Yeah.
You need to
Mhm.
not. So maybe the implication there is that the emerald that created the simulacrum could feel that happening to him, and he created the simulacrum as a failsafe, as like a, if that does happen, at least there's somebody that is good out there.
Okay, so she would bring up that point again to Emerald and say, why, if he had the hopes of you to be better than him, give you memories for the purpose of corruption? Wouldn't he be giving you the tools to do what he can't anymore?
It's a very good point.
And don't do it alone. If you're worried about being corrupted, surround yourself with light and people who bring that out of you.
He kind of looks to Sigrun. Would you be willing to join me? She nods. Of course I would. To the very end. We need to stop in the gemstone then. There's someone I need to see there. It's long overdue. And you see, I mean, you can see just on the backs of his hands, the goose pimples, the hair on the back of his neck stand up a bit.
Mhm.
We'll also need to recall Samir. I think the only way I can get the information that we need, there is a trial that the highest ranking members of the Hidden Flame go through. It's a trial that I made Zamir go through, and it is a trial that one of your companions in the Wanderers will need to go through someday, eventually. It forces someone to relive very painful, very ancient memories, using magic that has been long forgotten since the first war against the Dark One. If I endure this trial, it will give me unfettered access to my memories, as painful as they may be to relive. I will do this. And I promise all of you that I will have people with me that I can trust. No one that will allow me to throw everything away. As soon as I discover something, I will commune that with all of you as soon as I possibly can. But I have a feeling the individual I need in the gemstone may be not too happy to see me. But hopefully they'll understand. Well then, I should depart unless there's anything else you wish to share with me.
I think that was it, right, gang?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I don't have something to share, but I do have something to ask you.
All right.
It's just an advice thing, really. We're trying to think of who is going to take over in the Nine Hells. Because obviously it can't be Asmodeus. And Glacia is not somebody we want to rule down there. Do you have any thoughts on what we could do about that? Or any insights? You're a very wise person.
Well, thank you. That is a very, very, very difficult question to answer, however. I know you say obviously it cannot be Asmodeus, and I understand why after everything you've been through. But all things considered, it wouldn't be the worst idea in the world. However, if you are uncomfortable with that, Asmodeus has 3 princes that are loyal to him. Levistus, Beelzebul, and Mephisto. Those 3, they are powerful in their own rights, and specifically Levistus. Levistus has spent the entirety of his existence since the first war against the Shadow trapped in an iceberg, letting commands out to the many devils that are under his command from that iceberg. He hasn't been allowed to leave. Asmodeus imprisoned him there after the First War. Why specifically? Levistus was good. He was a great warrior. He was a great mage, a great commander. People loved him. The devils did. He knew how to fight against the abyss, and Levistus, as my tomes report, was rather instrumental in the war against the Shadow. In the Nine Hells, at least. He could be the one to take over. I can almost guarantee you, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that he would support you in the war against the Shadow. He would be eternally grateful to all of you for freeing him from the iceberg he's currently trapped in. But if you do not wish to transfer it to just another devil who knows, maybe 1,000 years down the line will get some bright idea of conquering the material plane like they always do, I think that well, Eurydice, you defeated this aspect of Asmodeus above Wheat Hill many months ago. They would fear you. They would hate you, but they would fear you. Or Yorick, I could see that. You could carry that burden as well. I doubt any of you would wish to. I hate to throw her name in the ring because I feel like the last thing she would want is to be connected to an infernal lineage for longer. But a servant of the Shadow once controlled her soul. You could always ask Bianca, the Maris, of the Wanderers. I cannot guarantee you that she would entertain the idea at all, but she knows how to kill demons and devils. In fact, as far as I am aware, she spent the vast majority of her life dedicated to that cause. But the question is, would the archdevils of the Nine Hells be subservient to her? To any of you? If you truly wish to make it so, the material plane is never in danger again. It needs to be someone like Yorick, or you, Eurydice, or Bianca. However, I understand that that is an awful burden to have to carry. You'd be given immortality, but at what cost? If you wish to have some semblance of life after this grand adventure, after this war, I believe Levistus may be your best option. The Icebound Prince.
Okay. That's really helpful. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's certainly something to think about. She kind of like side eyes Yorick to see how he's looking.
You can't really tell. Yorick looks like Yorick, thinking.
Okay, wonderful. He blinks slowly back. It's like,
Mhm.
okay.
What? No, I'm just
Nothing,
kidding. He
nothing.
doesn't say that. He doesn't say that.
Okay, thank you. That was everything, though.
Okay. You see him think for just a moment longer. This is... I will ask him. I want it to be on the record right now. I think it's an awful idea. But I feel like Zamir would get some sick and twisted enjoyment from being the tyrant king of the Nine Hells.
My god.
I've not heard much about Zamir. I'm not.
That's
I'm not sure how
surprising,
much
honestly.
He'd, well, I'm not sure how much he'd wanna. He'd be like, I'm sure he's great, but
You're fine. You do not need to I won't be offended. I honestly won't even ask him. I feel like he would say yes, and that's not something I don't think any of us
I
want
think
to have
that
to deal
that
with.
would scare me a little.
You and me both. Very well. Then, if there's nothing else,
No.
wonderful. Good luck to all of you in the Nine Hells and whatever awful things you have to endure. You're all resourceful. You'll make it out. Good luck. And as soon as I learn anything, this mostly directed at you, Lila, since it was your idea, I will let you know as soon as I learn something.
We'll
Right.
always communicate what we learn too.
With that, he drops the private sanctum, and him and Sigurn grip hands and teleport as he vanishes.
All right, nothing to see here, folks. Keep partying. Keep going.
You hear one merchant. He's got this long red beard, dwarvish man. He says, "Wait a moment. Was that the queen of the Valkyries, Sigurn? Oh, they'll never believe me back home." As he just walks away before you guys can say anything.
Different Sigrun. Fuck.
Well done. You did a good job. I think you
Yeah,
convinced
it's my best cover story I could come up with. So.
them. You didn't have to confirm the name, but okay.
Alrighty. So, with
By
that,
the way, as
Eurydice, you're here.
that drops, Yuri is immediately going to be like, "Okay, so what happened?" Updates,
Are you
people.
sitting down?
No,
Maybe you
I'm
should.
standing, but okay, sure.
You should.
we can say that you guys begin walking to the keep, which, just so you're aware of, River, Heather Scott is now Lord of Dragon's Bay.
Yes, as he
Okay,
should be.
okay.
Lord Captain of
Lord
Dragon's
Captain.
Bay.
Well, no, it's
Get
Captain.
the title right.
It's
Hayden.
Captain Lord. Because he's a
I
captain
think
first.
Lord Captain sounds better
Ah.
than Captain Lord. You know?
Okay, fine. Lord Captain.
Yeah.
You're
Rolls the tongue better.
Yeah. Lord
I'm
Captain.
the one that gave him the title.
Yeah,
so-
okay, all right. Okay, all right. He's still
Fine, I'll fix the summary.
Lord Captain Heather Scott. You go to his keep in Dragon's Bay, where all of you can have a little bit more privacy to talk.
Perfect. But I mean, basically, in the short, we killed Marcella.
Great.
It
She did.
sucked.
It sucked a lot. It's a rough time.
Did we
What
come
about
all the way to the
you?
keep to just say that?
Yep. Well, I'm kind of waiting on you guys. So
What we got?
anything more than yay, we killed Marcella?
Ooh.
I mean, do we want to go into the whole thing, or do we want to just say we give
Well,
her to see the
yeah,
rundown?
yeah.
Because
Yeah, we give her the rundown. We killed Morcella. We started to take back Houseman's Hollow. That is no longer Houseman's Hollow. We have now named it. What did we name it, Twig?
you don't even remember.
Oh,
SMH.
it's Talamir.
Talamir.
I was
Yeah.
trying to get you to say
Okay.
it.
Sorry.
God damn!
Damn.
Okay, we named it Talamir. Wowzers.
I didn't remember.
Idiot.
Well, I did. I just wanted Gemma to be like, I made a name. Anyway, we named it.
Classic
Gemma
Gemma.
named it Talamir. And now it's being rebuilt. And now we have basically learned that information about, everything that's happening in the Hells with Glacia, and we basically need to find someone to rule it. We have a special contract thing, essentially, that if it's signed by someone, it'll basically lock them into the position of king, queen, them thing of the Hells.
Lord Tyrant Ruler
Ruler.
of the Nine Hells.
Yeah, so like
And-
we could get someone to sign it and take over for it. What were we gonna say, Phil?
And-
Sorry.
Got planar binding, so we can just force them to do it.
I love how excited you are to
I-
force the Archdevils into this
I
contract.
am.
You're so happy.
Excited. I am.
Oh yeah, girl boss this shit.
So we do have a way to force someone into the position. It's just like obviously that's a conversation Yorick and Eurydice, I assume, are gonna have. I mean, Nalfian has some input on that. I'm sure all the people in the party might have some input. Yeah, and so now we're back in Dragon's Bay, kind of celebrating that victory. Forsaken is dead, and we
Yeah.
feel very good about it. However, we do know we need to travel to the Hells to handle the situation. So that's basically where we're at. Yeah.
All right. Eurydice listens to all of this and is just like slowly nodding and is like sighs a few times, like, okay, this is all sort of good. She also uses prestidigitation to clean off the rest of the blood and the muck that's just accumulated. She's obviously had a very interesting time. And she has new little scars on her face that kind of follow like a rough pattern of like a claw mark, but they go through some of the like markings that she has, like the white markings. Okay, this is fine. This is fine. This is so fine. Who are you planning to force into a contract to take over the Hells?
Oh no, not
Well-
to take over the Hells, but to agree on whoever we choose to take over the Hells. So like if we
Right.
choose either of you or Lavisto or Osmodeus and everything, whoever we choose, we need to have the rest of the three princes at the very least, I think.
Yeah.
Beelzebub, Lavisto, magical Mistopheles.
Lavistas.
Whatever. Those bitches. So yeah.
Right.
We need to have them on our side and basically
Yeah.
agree to work together on this
To
stuff.
actually, because I guess like the leader, they have to unanimously like contractually agree in order for the person to actually become the leader.
Right. Yep, that works. Minor point. It's not going to be Asmodeus. Just, we have a lot of options. He's not one of them.
Counterpoint. I don't think it should be you or Yorick. Here's why. And it could be just me, the pot calling the kettle black, but I've been lectured a time or two about self-sacrifice. But I think we really need to slow down and think about that decision before either of you two just jump into it.
I also think that we're running out of time. And if we put a devil in there, if we put Asmodeus in there, no, we're just, someone else is going to have to deal with this again and again and again.
I agree, but I also think that maybe the better bet is for the two of you to seriously think on this. We travel to the Hells, we get the signatures that we need because that has to happen regardless. And I think, if anything, it's worth talking to Levistus just to see where he stands. I
Yeah,
know
that's
this is not ideal, but I don't want to see either of you two throw your lives away.
I agree with Nalfian. Because just because the problem may be solved for the side of good to not be fighting against the Hells, if one of you two are put in that position, it's just going to be you guys against all of the Hells. So the war will just shift from basically heroes pushing back to now a divided Hells, where now whoever's in charge has to build their allies and fight. It's just relocating the fight, it's not stopping it.
But it'll keep the fight in the Hells, which is that's what we want. And we want to know that whoever is down there isn't going to ally with somebody like the Dark One or be trying to get at people in the mortal plane. How
Well-
many people are there here who are tieflings or who have had their lives fucked up by a devil or a demon who decided they wanted to come and mess around on the mortal plane?
I don't think that'll stop just because one of you two are the leader.
No, but it won't be as bad.
I say we travel to the Hells first. We get those signatures. We speak to Levistus before you make a decision.
Sorry, quick out of character moment. I think we need to decide who it is before we get the signatures.
I think that
Because
was
I
it.
think the contract won't be binding
Okay,
unless we
sorry.
have it. Yeah,
Yeah.
we need to
Mhm.
decide who it is before we
Okay.
get the first signature.
Gotcha. My bad. Didn't realize that
Which
was
still is a little bit of time, you know.
We still have some time,
Yeah.
yeah. That's not going to
Yeah.
be a day one done when we get down
No.
there, but
Because also Emerald didn't bring this up, but the Radiant Dread we talked about amongst us, we haven't talked to him. He's kind of a radiant, potentially good, potentially neutral.
Radiant potential.
You know,
Yeah.
he's an
So-
option.
he's
Well,
an
I guess-
option.
Thinking about that real quick, because he's basically taken control of the City of Radiance, right?
More or
much.
less.
So
I think he took over just that one guy's section, but it's still each pillar,
well,
right?
yeah, but then he like with the two other. Oh wait, how many pillars fell? I can't remember. But I remember he was getting like someone that was basically under him to be the other pillar, because only two of the pillars fell, right? So
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
took one place, and then he got like one of his buddies to take the second. So it's like, would getting the Radiant Dread to be in charge of the Hells, would that then fuck up the City of Radiance?
I think it might. And isn't he also like he's also technically not a devil, is he? He's a like radiant.
Well,
thing.
right,
Yeah,
but they
yeah.
said that
I
that
mean,
would be
neither
fine.
are
That's
you
why.
or Yoru,
that's why you're-
Yeah.
so it's like,
No, I was just checking.
He's a fallen angel.
yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, anyways, we're not leaving for the Hells for another. Was it 5 or 4 days, Joe? 5,
About 4 right now.
4. Look, we have some time, so let's just try to enjoy our rest. Everyone, just get your thoughts together. We can talk about this another time, yeah?
That's fine.
Okay. So with that, all of you head to rest in different areas. The celebration throughout the city continues on for quite some time throughout the night, but eventually, as night falls and as all of you tire, eventually you all head to rest. The next 3 days, up until Eventahala returns, is entirely up to you in terms of what you want to do. So I leave that up to all of you. There is Nothing really that I have planned aside from one thing, maybe two, depending on what happens. But I leave it up to you if there's anything all of you wanted to do in your free time up until the arrival of Venta Hollow with the plan for what you'll be doing in the Nine Hells.
I'll go first.
Okay.
All
Nice.
right. I think that first night when people have started going to like sleep and stuff, Yorick is going to get Lawrence and head out of the city.
Sounds good to me.
And he'll just ride like 20, 30 minutes just to find a secluded spot that's kind of further away from public eye, especially at this time.
Yeah. Easy enough. You do just that.
When he finds this area, he'll get off Lawrence and make sure that he's all settled, and he'll walk over to this small little clearing, and he will kneel down and open up his bag, and he'll pull out this tiny little box. And upon opening it, he starts to pull out these little figurines, but not like the ones that he's carved before. These are much older. And it looks like they're carved from bone. And they have like a little bit of just kind of like decayed tissue still on them. Some of them have just like a few strands of hair. But he sets out these 3 figurines in front of him. And slowly just kind of looks at them quietly as he eventually shuts his eyes and starts reaching out, trying to, for the first time, call the Wild Hunt to him.
Okay. Alrighty. So, as you set out the figurines, Lawrence behind you, you call upon the Wild Hunt. And in the darkness of night, they emerge. You can see the 3 of them come to life, their forms echoing from the small statues as sickly shadows. And there you can see the 3 specters of the Wild Hunt in front of you. Oh no. So, with that, York, you see the 3 of them, these faint, sickly shadows of green and white energy looking down upon you as you called to them.
At this point, Yorick would stand and he'd give a very small bow.
You can see...
You've always... Ooh,
they recognize
go
you.
ahead. Yeah. You 3 have always been quick to praise me for my efforts. And I'm grateful for that. And I've known I've always been able to come to you for anything, but I've tried to follow our ways. Follow what I believe is right. To come to the best answer on my own. But I'm at a point where I need help. And I'd like to make a request. I wish to speak to your master, the Raven Queen.
You can see the
Did
3
you do
of them. Yeah, I did.
That was awesome.
3 of them look down to you, and they begin to speak.
What you ask for, Yorick, you do not fully understand. The veil it crumbles, it shatters. With the rift in the sky, The Raven Queen drifts away. All of the gods drift away. Their connection to the material plane so fragile, so thin. The mortal beings they used to be now just echoes in their own minds. You may ask whatever you wish. We will open a path for you to speak with her. But be ready, for we fear that you will not be met with kind eyes or ears. You will be met with a woman who has seen the void, witnessed the horrors of the Dark One, and feels her realm being torn asunder by the shadows' tenacious claws. Ask what you will. She will not turn away from you. But be ready for divine wrath.
Very well.
So with that, Yorick, you see the three of them slowly begin to fade as the statues lose their illumination and the specters that emerged from them. And you feel the ground beneath you begin to move slightly, rumbling. You see a skeletal hand burst from the earth. As it pulls itself up, you can see a woman's face, the skin half decayed on one side, the other stark white bone, long black hair draping down into the earth. As you can see the bony form look to you. Two eyes of swirling white mist that descend down on the ground in this thick fog and envelop you. You can feel the mist grip hold of you, holding you in place. You are unable to move at this time.
You have come. You wish to ask questions of me, Yorick Nasine, High Hunter of the Wild Hunt. Ask your questions, seek your guidance, and pray you live through the night.
Guess we can skip introductions. I need to know how to return a soul that was ripped away. Aventahala, the devil in the hells. I know it's possible to restore her mortal form. I wish to know how.
What you seek is so noble, so kind, so just, so righteous. A devil, a dryad, her soul torn asunder by the great tyrant of the Nine Hells. You wish to return the essence that she once had. But the truth is, Yorick, how much are you willing to sacrifice? The part of her that was full of nature and life. She was a servant of me. To keep the dead at rest and the spirits in the trees. A part of yourself you'd have to give her the life you wish. What that will do to you, I do not know. So much is unknown about the future and our part to play. Would she be thankful? Would she curse you? I have no idea. But you can try. To sacrifice a part of yourself, and to reclaim her soul that sits in Nessus itself. Within the great keep of Osmodeus, a cage there is. Entrapped within lies her soul. A great
course he did. He's been fighting the hells in the dark for so long. And in all of that, she hasn't lost herself. Not yet. I can't have her keep going like that. Not after everything she's been through and everything she's lost. I'll take the risk for my friend.
So be it. If this is the path you wish to descend upon, it is your choice to make. Find her soul in the keep, in Nessus, Osmodeus' greatest prize and greatest treasure. Rend that soul from the cage, and rend the essence from your own form. These two things you give to her, she will return to what she once was, or as close as she would be able to. But remember this, Yorick. So often we wish to return things the way they were. Time has a funny way of changing how we view the past. Some days I wish I could go back to the young girl I was. I long for the days when I was trapped in a cage, because it is so much more. It was so much better than where I am now. Be wary of that, Yorick. The past and what we once were is not always better.
And you can see the tendrils of shadow, or the tendrils of mist, as she talks more. You can feel the anger begin to seep into you as the tendrils squeeze harder and harder. You can feel them begin to pull you into the dirt, sinking like a corpse into the ground. But the tendrils release. You can see the skeleton clatter and fall, sucked back into the earth. The mist pulled back in, following the corpse. As you're left alone there, the statues of the Wild Hunt knocked over. As the Raven Queen leaves you.
Yorick would go over and pick them up and very gently put them back in the box and kind of look down at them before he closes it. I think the three of you taught me well. The decision will be hers, but I have to try. He says more to himself as he shuts the box.
Okay. Very good.
And Yorick will head back to the city to sleep.
Okay. So, with that, Yorick, you head back into the city of Dragon's Bay, and you head to rest. Eventually, the rest of you wake up that next morning, ready for whatever the day has for you. So, within the city of Dragon's Bay, all of you have 3 days now. It's up to you what you want to do over that duration of time. If that's nothing, cool. We will skip right ahead to when Eventahalis shows up, ready with the plan and ready with the contracts that I will let all of you read, because that's so fun. Legalese, right? We love it.
I'm going to tear those contracts apart, Joe.
That's okay. So we can go ahead and skip forward to that, or if there's anything anybody wants to do, we can take a little bit of time to linger on those as well. No rush either way. I just wanted to let you know what's going to happen if we do not if nobody has anything, we'll just kind of skip ahead, aside from one small thing.
Yeah, Nelfin wanted to talk to Lila.
That was one of my things.
Oh.
I can help you.
Converging of the
Whoa.
stars. We love it. Okay. Alrighty. So you can see that as the two of you, whatever you were doing during the day, which we'll get to in a second, the city is still in celebration mode. Even though the majority of celebration is past and the king has not yet departed, but is going to do so today, people are still celebrating, reveling in the victory, the return of House Forrester, and of the Forerunners of Fate, and everything all of you have done. So anytime any of you guys are out on the city streets, at least 10 people walk up to you over the hour that you're out there, and they thank you. They thank you for your service and everything you've done. They recount a time where you were directly responsible for saving them. Whether it be in Highland Pass, Raven Rock, Hearthcrest, Sand Point, they all have something to say. And
Love
the only
being
reason...
popular.
Yeah, right. Nalfian, since Kayla, you brought it up first, you are seeking Lila on this day. What is Lila doing? What does Nalfian stumble upon Lila doing?
As she's out and about in the city, she is shopping. She's not for anything helpful. Just like restocking her stuff, makeup, a little like, maybe this ring would look better than what I already wear, things like that. So she's kind of doing a typical, if there is malls, she's at the mall.
I love that.
A little shopping hub of like
Yeah.
goods and things.
Yeah, I don't know if they'd be like traditional malls, but you can
Yeah.
find like in Dragon's Bay, there are like multi-level buildings that are like 3-tiered shopping centers, I'd say. So it's like only one store, but it's or like big
It's a
merchant
department.
like bazaars where there's like 90 different merchants that have a whole bunch of different things. That's I think
She's
the
at
closest.
Bloomingdale's. Yeah.
Yeah, so Nalfian would dig through the crowds of people to find her. I like to imagine, like, she's, like, looking at something, and then just nothing personal, kid. Nalfian disappears behind her. Hey, Lila?
What? She, like, drops 3 of her bags, picks them up.
He'll help.
Hi!
Hey, do you have a second? I mean,
Oh, yeah. No,
talk
no, this is not
as
important at all.
Looks at your many bags. Mm-hmm.
But you should hold, and she's gonna pick up the heavier one, this one.
Yep. Then he will hold her bags.
I actually was planning on chatting with you today, too, anyway, so.
Oh, well, I don't want to interrupt. You know, we could walk and talk.
Sure, and I can get your opinion on what I should buy next.
Alright, sounds good. I just, as they're kind of like looking at stuff and walking, he just has this large box bag thing in his hand.
A few.
Sack. Yeah.
Quite a few.
So, you know, that praying thing?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. How was that for you? I'm sorry I had to leave so quickly.
Oh, no, it's understandable. I think it went well. I guess... So I'm not as up to date on the gods, I suppose, as I maybe should be. And, you know, the only drow deity that I'm even remotely familiar with is Loth. But is there's others, right? I mean...
Well, gods and goddesses, when they ascend from what they once were, aren't technically the races that they're gods now. So technically, I guess, no. But off the top of my head, without thinking too hard, Pelor was a drow in his lifetime.
And... what? Red eyes.
Oh, yeah.
Describes him. I don't remember what Nalfian was like, whatever he looked like, that guy.
Yeah, she says, like, yeah,
Definitely an
depictions of
Underdark
him-
drow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Was he... depictions tend to have him as bald, but...
And
I
what
guess
is
maybe
he,
I don't remember.
the god of? That's good, right? I mean, that's what I
Yeah.
saw.
He's the god of... besides Nabir Taman, which is the first light, Pelor's the god of light and day and, traditional, lawful good. A lot of paladins are of Pelor. When we go to the 5 divines, he's always the one when you first walk in. He's going to be that front and center, tends to have the largest statues, the most donations. He's the easiest god for people to get behind, I would say. So,
Oh.
known as the Dawn Lord, Keeper of the Flame, Radiant Lord. Also, so harvest, summer, agriculture, mercy, you know, all that.
Mm. Now Vin's like trying to keep up. And so that's good then.
Oh, yes. He's a good god, for sure. He's not, I mean, he's kind of, I don't want to say the main one because they're all equal, but like I said, you couldn't get more of a lawful good person to worship or god to worship. Is
Right.
that someone you're interested in, or what happened? Did he speak to you?
This whole thing, Lila, it's interested. I don't know if is the right word, but I guess I feel like I should. But yes, something along the lines of just acknowledging me, which I assume is a good thing to be acknowledged by a god, especially one such as him. And I don't want to, you know how I am with these things. I don't want to do or say something wrong because I'm not one to worship things. I'm not one to devote my life to something that isn't necessarily tangible, right? Something that's in front of me. And I know for a lot of people who worship and pray to the gods, it's kind of, that idea of blind faith and just trusting that they're there when, why do that when I can trust, the blade at my hip? I know that's there. I trust you, you're there. It's hard for me to put that into what is essentially nothing. At least at this time. And again, I know that might sound blasphemous, but it's hard to...
It's not blasphemous to have doubts. It's natural, and any creature claiming to be a god that can't handle questioning is worth questioning. So you say not tangible, but I would like to argue that no, the gods themselves, they're not going to hold your hand when you cry or carry you to your greatest desires and destinations. But you can feel the sun on your skin warm you. You can eat the fruits of a harvest after long, laborious seasons. You can see the trees turn from the cold winter, growing flowers in spring, into a green summer. You can feel and show mercy to others and even yourself. The gods themselves and what they stand for is why people get behind them, not because they're your best friend. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
Like, for me, Corellian has been my gateway into understanding myself better. And while he's not who I confide in about my deepest, darkest secrets, or who I love, or my greatest longings and desires of life, he's been my light in the darkness. He's everything that I'm proud of in myself, I feel, has manifested through my devotion to him. And I know for you, your blade is what makes you strong, but for me, it's everything that Corellian powers within me. Being able to protect and heal. But just because a god doesn't give you the power to heal or fight, doesn't mean they're not doing something for you.
Right. And, I've never looked at it that way before. I guess
sometimes, I mean, if all you knew was loss, your apprehension makes sense.
Thank you for pushing me to do this. Maybe not pushing. I wouldn't say that, but convincing me.
It was an offer, and I'm glad you accepted it. And if you would like a prayer partner, or just someone to help you navigate to the Temple of the Divines so you can look cool in the corner, like you don't really care, you're here for your friend.
Yeah, that's more my style. I like that.
Well, then you can accompany me while I sometimes spend a little bit more time in section for Paylor.
I would like that too. Thank you. Definitely something new, but change is all right sometimes. So I'm learning to embrace that a little bit more.
It might be helpful to hold on to that connection as we go into the hell.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
And that's what I wanted to talk to you about, as they probably have left the little shopping center and started to head back towards where they've been staying. Somewhere still just the two of them, so that it's still a private conversation. And obviously, our friends are entitled to do whatever they feel is best, or even maybe what they want to do, but I know he confided in me that it's not that he wants to be the ruler of the Nine Hells, but that he wants more than anything for Aventahala and the rest of us to be safe and free. And
Right.
and with Eurydice, with her just being back, I haven't been able to talk with her, but it feels weird for, in the end, her story of fighting against being Asmodeus's thrall to also end up becoming what he wanted her to be. I know not in the way he wants, but I really want to figure this out for them.
I do too, Lila. I don't want to see either of them not like this. And again, in recent light of what I did, maybe they would think it's similar, but in my mind it's not. At the end of my life, I'm gonna go and I'm going to be the Green Knight for the Green Lady, but I'm going to be in service of something far different than ruling over the Nine Hells, and it's only for a certain amount of time. The position they are talking about is in eternity, infinite. You don't step down when your duty is done. You're there.
Mm-hmm.
And I would hate to see two people who have, like you said, fought their lives against demons, devils, darkness, only to then rule over that. It doesn't sound right, it doesn't fit right, it's not the story that they need to be telling, it's not how their stories should end. So I think if there is a different way, we have to find it. I think it's worth speaking to what the hell is his name, Joe? Leviticus? No, that's a fucking Bible.
Levistus. Levistus.
It's
Is that in the Bible?
Yeah.
Leviticus? Is that
Yeah.
a chapter?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Not that.
Spending too much time at school, Kayla.
Girly pop, right? Oh, okay. What was it one more time? Levistus?
Levistus. Yep, you got it.
Levisto? Oh,
Levistus.
Levistus,
Yeah.
sorry.
I wrote Levisto so many times.
I
in
know
my
you
notes.
said Levisto earlier, but you were on a roll.
Levistus.
I didn't want to interrupt you.
Levistus, yeah. Okay, yeah. Nelf would say I definitely think it's worth considering Levistus, I know Eurydice is not going to want to put Asmodeus back there. I don't think we're going to win that fight.
Which I understand. She doesn't want anyone to be hurt like the way he hurt her. And she's right. Putting him back solves the problem, but doesn't mean people won't get hurt in the long run. And what she was saying about demons and devils affecting people here in the material plane, definitely. The wounds haven't healed, and maybe they never will. Wounds don't have to heal all the time, and sometimes those scars remain. It's not a flaw, it's just I want her to find peace too.
I
So,
agree.
I figured we'd be on the same page, but man, it's gonna be hard to convince them, I think.
It will. It will be a fight. But I think it's worth it. And if we're on the same page, I'm thinking Twig will be too. Hell, I know they are. They don't want this. But as someone who shares the same fatal flaw, that sacrificial nature, it's going to be tough. But we have options. We have a little bit of time. And if Levisto was fighting against the Dark One at one point in time, who's to say he won't be willing to do that again? And someone made this point earlier. The unfortunate truth is there's always going to be defactors. There's always going to be demons or devils who are going to break away from what is right, I suppose. Make their way here. Deals are going to be made. It's going to happen, no matter who's in charge. And that's just a fact.
Agreed. And the other thing I was thinking about, and maybe reminding Eurydice of, is what she could become, or is becoming now, if she's not taking the route of being the leader of the Nine Hells, is going to be the very bane of whoever that leader becomes. So she
Right.
can still do what she needs to do. And I'm sure she's seeing as her becoming the leader as being the ultimate version of that, maybe, but the sacrificial part. I'm just repeating what we've already discussed at this point.
But I understand. We're in this together, and we will do what we can to help them.
Agreed. I think we can figure this out.
He'll very exaggerated manner put all of her stuff down. Oh, okay, well, next time I'll have Zevran do this. Alright, good talk? he'll give Lila a hug.
Yeah, she'll hug it back, and then she will hoist her bags up and be like, speaking of Zevran, I need to find him. He's been so busy working. And then she's gonna go look for Zevran.
All right. Good luck in your search.
Yeah.
So you
Probably a library.
okay.
Nerd.
So, as you all, well, Nalthian, you head off, and Lila, then I guess are you actually looking for Zevran?
Yeah, we could keep it brief, but
Okay.
she was gonna invite him to come to the Nine Hells,
Okay. Yeah.
taking him a tour around all the place.
Yeah. So, no check necessary. You do find Zevran.
Is he with Mimir?
He is with
still?
Mimir right now. So yeah, as you enter into the keep, you can see there in the dark, deep parts of the keep of Dragon's Bay. This is a place where Duradine Dupree put all the things that he wasn't interested in, which was the library. So
Oh,
he has
right.
shifted it pretty much to where the dungeons would be. So it is a very dark, dank area, and you can see that Mimir and him are just going back and forth. Like, you can tell the brain juices are flowing right now. As Mimir's like, all right, so get this, right? If I take this, and you can see there's like a big chalkboard where they're like working on things.
Wait, is this like what is that show?
Oh, It's Always
he's like-
Sunny? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so all right, so if we take that symbol, right, that one right there, the one that's been giving us so much trouble, right, and we connect it there, and Mimir's, Zevran's like, yes, keep going. And you can see they keep going back and forth until eventually they go back, they start writing it down, filling in the blanks, and it's still the same issue, Mimir. It doesn't.
Maybe I can help.
Oh,
She's holding all of her shopping bags.
oh, you went shopping. Hello, please come in.
Yes.
And Zevran
Also,
will.
it's so dark in here. Have you guys thought about like casting daylight or something?
Well, if I'm being honest, my eyes have adjusted to the shadow at this point, so I'm afraid I may go blind if there's too much sunlight exposed.
Okay.
A
She'll
joke.
set down
No,
her
daylight
bags.
would be a very good choice. I'm feeling a little bit sun-starved, if I'm being honest.
All right. I don't know if she has daylight, but let's say she does. Boom.
Boom.
Daylight.
Oh, Mimir just looks at it. Hey, that's good. Can't feel it at all because I'm undead. But I think it would probably feel really nice. Zevran says, that's great, Mimir.
Just
I'm
ta-
so happy for you.
Just take a moment here. I got these.
Okay.
I just bought these glasses that should help. She's gonna
Oh,
put
you-
sunglasses on.
Oh, wow. Very. These are nice.
They're like cat eye sunglasses.
Yeah.
Super not for him.
Oh, very
There,
good.
you can have them.
Thank
Consider it
you.
a gift. What
This
are you
is
guys
very-
looking at?
Yeah, please, you might be able to help. So, the cipher is so incredibly complex. This individual, this Talrin Baynir who wrote this, is, I think, one of the smartest, not just drow, but I think people that's ever lived. It is insane. I mean, Mimir has been working on it 24/7, non-stop, and I've been helping whenever I'm awake. And, so, here's the thing. We've been able to translate small portions of it, but anything that we translate just tells us that we need heat to see it. We need heat to see it. We need heat to see it. Now, we don't want to expose the tome to fire because that seems like an awful idea. So we've
Wait
been.
a second. Drow, Nalfian, has heat vision. Have you asked Nalfian to take a look at?
Mimir, have we asked Nalfian? Have we? You know, the idea came to my head, but you were on a roll one day, and I just didn't want to interrupt. You know, that young academic, I just didn't want to ruin your flow, so I decided not to say anything. And
Is
I guess
he
it just kinda
lying?
Slipped my mind. Yes, he's no inside check necessary. He is lying.
Lila's gonna roll her eyes. Sure, that's why you waited this long to even say anything. I just saw Nalfian, so I can go get him.
All right. Yes, please, Lila. That would be very nice.
She will go get Nalfian, who
Okay.
I hope hasn't traveled far from where they last were.
No. He'd be like on his way to his room, but then I guess spin on his heel as soon as Lila
Hey.
returns.
Yeah, we need your help down in the dungeons.
My specialty. And heads after.
Let's go.
Alright.
Okay. Alrighty. So, you head into the dungeons, and you can see as you get back, Zevran and Mimir are like at each
Butthurt,
other's
probably.
throats as academics. So they're not like broing out. They're like not in each other's faces, but you can see they're both sitting and they're having the most passive aggressive conversation as Mimir's like, well, you know, like I said, I just didn't want to interrupt you. And Mimir says, Zevran says, Zevran. Mimir, you know that is not true. It's okay to admit that you just didn't know. You didn't think of it. That doesn't make you less smart than what you are. Nope. Smartest man alive, laddie. That much is true.
I hear you needed the real smartest man alive to help with this. I have arrived. Nalfian smiles at everybody.
Mimir looks at you and says, you know what? I'm not going to say it. Yes, Nalfian, we'd love your help with something that your eyes only can assist with, actually.
All
yes,
right.
We didn't think of it before. Lila, as intelligent as she is, she was able to crack the code for us. Very appreciative
I
of
see
that.
a lot of talk about smartest man alive when we're clearly need to talk about the smallest person.
Ooh.
Ooh,
I
got
think
him.
she-
Mimir
Yeah.
says, listen, I think we all need to do a better job of checking our biases, all right? But let's focus on the cipher first, all right?
Okay. Sure. So tell me what I need to do.
All right, so what we need you to do is we're going to explain the cipher a little bit to you. And we think we know how to solve it, but it just anytime we do, it tells us that we need heat to see it. So we're going to solve it again on the on the book here. And when we do read it, I guess using the heat vision that you have, and tell us if you see anything different. It's quite long, so you might be reading for a moment. But whenever you're ready, we'll get into it.
Yeah. Let's do it then.
Okay.
And yeah, Nelf is like, the silver of his eye disappears, and it's kind of like, you know, like a lizard closes its eyes and then reopens, and it's all
like
weird
the
looking.
sideways blink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when he opens his eyes again, his irises are red.
Alrighty. So, with that, Nalfian, you read. And as you do, you read more than just you need heat to read this. You see the last written words of Talrin Baynir. The cipher so clear. I will
It's been
read this
worse.
to all of you. This is Malice's motif.
Oh shit.
And I will also post it in our chat. To the sons of Baynir who walk in the shadow yet seek the light. In the depths of Khania, where the frost-bitten bones of the damned lies a secret buried beneath the ice, a truth enshrouded in cold darkness. Seek the frozen tomb of Talrin Baynir, a crypt hidden beneath the eternal glaciers, its entrance marked by the sigil of our house, entwined with an Echo Knight's blade. Within this tomb rests that which Malice sacrificed to the Dark One, the heart of a warrior, the only drow man she ever loved, transformed into her phylactery. A relic of our bloodline's darkest hour, it binds her to an unyielding will, a chain you must seek to break. This phylactery imbued with her essence and my sorrow holds the key to her release from the Dark One's grasp. Destroy it and you shatter the chains that binds her soul. But be wary, its destruction is no simple feat. Only an echo of the past, wielded by a son of Baynir, can pierce through the phylactery's defenses. A blade resonating with the echoes of a bygone era. The path to the tomb is treacherous, guarded by echoes of our ancient kin, warriors lost to time but bound to protect the secret. To reach the phylactery, one must navigate a labyrinth of ice where every whisper can be a storm, and in every shadow a blade. Break the phylactery and free Malice from her eternal servitude. In doing so, you may find redemption for our line and bring a new dawn to the legacy of Baynir. And I will go ahead and post that in the Isles private chat as well. Oh, there it is.
Where is
Levestus?
Levestus? Yes, where is he in the Hells?
Is in the 5th layer of the Hells, which is Stygia.
okay.
Khania is where Mephisto is. So it is the 8th layer of Hell. It'll be the last one you guys go to.
Okay, because I thought icy. I was like, oh, so he's in the same. That tomb is in the same spot as
Yeah,
Levistus.
there are two icy
Two
layers.
icy
of
layers.
hells. Yeah.
Okay.
Stygia
Cool.
and then Khania, because Khania is the wall that leads to Nessus. So in order to get to Osmodeus' keep,
Whew.
you have to break through an entire like thousands of feet of icy wall in order to get there.
Guys, we need like a freaking objective tracker because we keep adding more to our map that keep popping up.
Yep.
Cool. Okay. Wowzers. Nelphine would share that with everybody.
Okay. Oh. Well then. That's good. At least we know where it is, but if that's speaking the truth, then if we destroy her phylactery, you can kill her, yes, but it severs her will to the Dark One then.
It's a good thing, though, right?
It is, but my only question then would be, would Balefire work? If she no longer has any pledge or allegiance to the Dark One, then
Well, if that's the case, I think any old blade will do. Malice bleeds. I've seen it. If we sever her connection from the Dark One, we're severing her connection to be brought back, right?
yes.
I mean, yeah, it should work like any other lich.
Listen, if I have to, and I already planned on it, cut her into hundreds and thousands of pieces, I will.
Right. Okay. No, it makes sense. It does. It does.
I mean,
But
is there anything else that you saw in Alphian that alludes to her not being able to be killed once it's destroyed, the phylactery?
I mean, Malice is... Dark One aside, she has her own means of reaping life and continuing to extend her own life. But I thought that maybe this was it. But there could be another factor here that I'm just missing. Regardless, I think this is the first step. Because if she's connected to the Dark One, then she's being fed more power. At least this way we are cutting off some of that source.
Isn't
I mean-
I received transcripts from Emerald that talked of the encounters the wardens had with one of her sons, Dinan, and the vampiric nature of his form. That could also be an issue with Malice then. We break the phylactery, but then there's also a vampiric curse on her blood as well. It seems as though she was one to have a lot of fail-safes then.
So we stake her in the heart, right?
Yeah. Bring some garlic bread too, I guess. It's a joke.
What?
Joke, sorry.
Vampires that are able to sire other vampires and everything. I didn't do as much studying on vampires, but not every vampire can be killed with just a stake, right?
That's
Isn't there something about destroying their place of rest? Is that a thing?
Nalfian, you're right. And Lila, you're right too. I did a little bit more study on undead creatures. Professor Willoughby, you remember him, right? It was a really difficult class, but with ascendant vampires, those that have made a great sacrifice, thousands of thralls, they ascend to become almost godlike in their power. It could be a situation where the Dark One perhaps limits this power that she has, usurping it.
So you're saying if we destroy this phylactery, we are doing the opposite. We are potentially making her more powerful because she's tapping into a different power source.
But she also becomes an enemy of the Dark One.
she also becomes killable.
So the real question is, where is this other source coming from? And is it something we can reach also?
It
Or
would
is
be
it-
in her place of rest. It would be in the Underdark then.
Are you
It would-
fucking kidding me?
It would be in your city,
Hmm.
Nelfian.
Yeah, I was afraid you were gonna say that. Alright.
But, and this is obviously still with a lot of planning, I recently am able to teleport to places that I or people I'm teleporting remember or have been. I could take us there, Nalfian. Once we're ready, of course. We'd have to be back on the material plane, not just from the Nine Hells, but it wouldn't be we'd have to go hunting and searching for it. I could just, if you
Get
can
us there.
remember.
Yeah, I can remember.
All right.
Real well. Alright. So, what are we looking for then? Your traditional wooden box?
Knowing her,
Probably
maybe
something
something
more.
more lavish. Yeah.
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 Okay. Wonderful. I've always wanted to take a vacation home. Show you all around.
Huh.
Thank you. Thank you for laughing.
Sure, it's lovely this time of year.
I think you laughed at my garlic joke, so it's only fair. I
It's
return
only
the
fair.
favor. Yeah.
You know what? This is information. Hell, this is more information than I've ever had on how to kill her in my entire life. And that means going back to where it all started, then that's what we're gonna do. But phylactery is the first step. We need to take care of that first. And since we're just so happen to gonna be taking a vacation and a perusal of the hells, we might as well make it a stop.
Do you know anything about this person she loved?
No, I didn't think it was possible, but
Nalfian, I would like you to make. Man, does it even need to be a history check? Let me think for a second.
oh, did I
Um,
misspeak?
No. Um. mm, Because I'm trying to think if there's something here that you might that he might know. Let me look over the thing real quick. You do know that there is a drow man that was always the source of your studies. In fact, you know that he was one of the first Echo Knights. So he was the first Echo Knight, and this is where the study of Echo Knights began. Long ago. And you're not sure if it is him, but in the text it did talk about how a great warrior Echo Knight would be waiting. It could be him. Dirael Bainir.
Okay. Nalf would share that information then.
Yeah, you're not sure if it's him, but maybe.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, so Nalf will share that. That's just a guess. But that's the only male drow figure that is ever talked about.
Well, like you said, we have a lot of information. More to do on our list.
Thank you both for figuring this out. Kind
Of-
of looking to Mimir and Zevran.
Of course. We wouldn't have been able to do it without either of you two as well, so thank you. Hi, of course, thank you. Very much appreciated.
Well, what cheery news.
Right. Also, Zevran. We're going to the Nine Hells.
Yes,
Wanna come? I know it sounds fun, doesn't it?
it does, and I... Honestly, after what we experienced in the edge of all of existence, I think it sounds like a nice vacation destination.
And honestly, since you have, I mean, together we all remember the cipher just fine, but you've been studying it inside and out. As we get closer to the phylactery,
I'll do...
having you there will be very helpful.
I will, there's a teleportation circle within the keep. I'll return to Hearthcrest and I'll do whatever reading I can on the Nine Hells. So that way, if there's anything that comes up, hopefully I'll have an answer to it.
And if you could look up that name, that would be helpful.
I'll see if I can find anything on it.
Thanks.
I have also been studying just in case anything came up, so there's no need to worry about me, I promise. And I know you wouldn't think it, but I promise you I will not be a liability. With the tome that, the wizard book that Twig found within the vault, there were some spells in there that I learned, and on top of that, I have a few new tricks up my sleeve that I think may be quite useful to not only you, but to all of us.
Awesome. I think Lila would offer to either go with Zevran to Hearthcrest and help him study, and probably she would brush up on, if he focuses on the Nine Hells, she might study more on vampires, or she could stay here at the keep and go through the library dungeon here. So, because I don't know if other people have stuff they want to talk to Lila about, because she can either stay here or go to Hearthcrest. It doesn't really matter.
Zevran can bring you
never
back
know.
some books so you can stay within Hearthcrest.
You mean the keep here?
Yeah, sorry, yes. He'll bring you
you're good.
books from Hearthcrest so you can stay at Dragon's Bay.
Cool.
Okay.
That was
Alrighty.
a lot. Yeah.
And what I will say is Zevran, you haven't seen him in, like 9 days. Well, I guess like 10 from when you left. He's
Years.
changed a little bit different. He's changed a little bit. After getting back, he's got some new clothes on. He's got a little bit of a new haircut. And
Let's
I
see.
I wanted art with him where he wasn't technically shirtless because that was the old art.
Oh, he
So-
was, wasn't he?
He was, yeah. So this one I think is a little bit more fitting of the royal boy that Zevran is.
What I'm hearing is
Aw.
downgrade.
What a cutie!
So cute! I love it. I love it.
I was
Very
im-
Zevran, though.
I was impressed that that the eye color and the hair color are both the same from the original art.
Yeah, that is pretty solid.
And-
Wait, is this what is that called? What do you use? AI art?
Yeah,
What's
it
that?
is.
Okay.
The journey.
Yeah.
Mid journey. Could not say.
And I will say, species, Zevran's character sheet has also been updated. Zevran is kind of a master spellcaster now. He's a 13th level spellcaster, same as all of you. Some of his abilities have changed a little bit. Most importantly, though, Zevran's hit points have gone up, his AC has gone up, and Zevran, being an NPC and wanting to give him a little bit more to do than just casting spells, Zevran now has legendary actions that you all can choose to use.
That's hot.
So Zevran can either, as a legendary action, make an arcane blast attack, which is just a basic like force damage attack. For 1 legendary action, for 2 legendary actions, he can reposition. So 2 legendary actions. He can teleport 60 feet away, anywhere he wants. And then 3 legendary actions, which is as many as he has. He can cast one of his prepared spells, but only from levels 1 through 4. He also has new spells available. He has quite a few, actually. And while we're going through some of the new ones, the 3 Forester spells that he discovered from the vault, there is Forester's Fey Cloak, which makes an individual invisible in natural environments like snow or forests or areas that are not really super relevant in the Nine Hells. He also gained Whispering Woods. Yeah.
Tundra would be.
Yeah, so it could be helpful there. He also has Whispering Woods, which summons a grove of dense ethereal trees that is difficult terrain and can charm creatures if they fail a wisdom saving throw. And then there is 1 7th level spell, Forester's Verdant Guards. So you transform up to 4 trees you can see within range into guardians. Each guardian has the following stats. So they are AC 16 with, pretty good damage output, and HP equal to 5 times his wizard level.
Damn.
So I don't know how many trees you guys are going to see in the Nine Hells, but
Yeah, you never know.
Swamp level.
by far, though, the best spell that he does have prepared is Magnificent Mansion. So as you guys are traveling throughout the Nine Hells, you will have a safe place to stay, provided he has a 7th level spell available.
Nick.
Okay. Alrighty. Cool.
Hell yeah.
So, with that, as Lila, you begin your studies of the books that Zevran sends you, Zevran heads back to Hearthcrest to do whatever reading he can on Dirael Bainir and the Hells. As the rest of you prepare for whatever awaits you in the Nine Hells, we're actually going to take a quick break right there. We'll be back at, let's say, 26, whatever hour it is for you, 26, whatever hour. And we will see you in just a little bit. Thanks for watching so far, and we will be right back.
scars long have yearned for your tender caress to bind our fortunes. Damn what the stars own. Rend my heart open, then your love profess. A winding, weaving fate to which we both atone. You flee, my dream come the morning. Your scent, berries tart, lilac sweet. To dream of raven locks and twisted, stormy, of violet eyes glistening as you weep. The wolf I will follow into the storm to find your heart, its passion displaced by our ever-growing, hardening into stone. Amidst the cold to hold you in a heated embrace. You flee, my dream come the morning. Your scent, berries tart, lilac sweet. To dream of raven locks and twisted, stormy, of violet eyes glistening as you weep. I know not if fate would have us live as one, or if by love's blind chance we've been bound. The wish I whispered when it all began, did it forge a love you might never have found? You flee, my dream come the morning. Your scent, berries tart, lilac sweet. To dream of raven locks and twisted, stormy, of violet eyes glistening as you weep.
And we're back. River has not returned yet. I think they maybe fell.
What?
They didn't.
fell.
They didn't invest in life alert, so they are not
They just
getting any
fell?
help, I guess.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Life alert!
So let's go ahead and dive back in. Hopefully they get the assistance they need. So, picking up where we left off, our group of adventurers have discovered a couple of things. They now know generally what the Dark One's end plan is, at least soon. Something to do with Adarashi and something to do with the Nine Hells. They deduce that it is something that has to do with Glacia and the Nine Hells. In Adarashi, these guys have no idea. The Wanderers, they maybe have a little bit of a better idea up in the Salamander Coast. So we'll see if they decide to talk to each other at all. So, that information in mind, they continue on. There are some conversations that are had. Yorick has a very intense conversation with the Raven Queen, where she is not very nice.
It was fine.
It was okay. Yeah, it was okay. You know, Yorick didn't die, and he wasn't. He was only dragged into the earth a little bit. A modest, a friendly amount. You know.
Yeah.
So.
Hug.
He learns he learns that within Osmodeus's keep rests Aventahala's soul. That combined with the fragment of Aventahala's core, her druidic dryad core that's embedded within Yorick, those two things combined could potentially give Aventahala a sliver of her life back before she was a devil. On top of that, they also discover the truth behind the cipher that Talrin Baynir had written thousands of years ago about the location of Malice's phylactery within the 8th layer of the Nine Hells, Khania. They know generally where it is at, and they generally know how to destroy it. However, they understand that if they destroy the phylactery, it breaks Malice's connection to the Dark One. She now is a free agent, and she can truly embrace the vampiric powers that she has built up over the past epoch. So, all of that in mind, the group separates. Zevran accepts Lila's invitation to go with them to the Nine Hells, going to the College of Hearthcrest to read all he can about the Nine Hells and what they may encounter, while Lila, after being sent some books by Zevran, chooses to read about vampires to see if there is anything at all she can discover before they head to that crypt. So, with that, we may now turn to maybe a little bit more of a cheery atmosphere before our eventual descent into the Nine Hells. So, Lila, you begin your studies, Zevran begins his in Hearthcrest. My question to Nalfian, Yorick, Eurydice, or Twig, is there anything that you all wanted to do before heading into the Nine Hells, before Aventahala shows up in just a couple of days now?
Also ask, because, like, I don't know what we'd need, but, like, is there any, like, things we could buy that would help us in the Hells?
Good idea.
Like, would it be, like, because I don't even know if it's worth investing in, like, fire-resistant shit, because, like, you know, with the Hells, it's like, it depends on what layer in that, you know, what you're going to be dealing with.
It's a
So,
good
like, I don't know.
question.
I want us to have things to be prepared, but I've also been sitting here thinking about, like, what the hell even is that? Because there's a lot of different things.
I think we're going in about as well prepared as we can be. If you can think of general things that would help you, then great. But I can't really think of anything specific because, like you said, each layer is so different.
I'm
Yeah,
always
'cause we
down
already
for
have-
more potions, but I know we got some in the.
Yeah, from the Forest of Vault.
How much?
And, like,
How many were those?
Ooh, I want to say, like, there was, like, 3 graders or something. And then there was, like, other different potions as well.
Because, I mean, Zevran can make a shelter for us where we're going to be safe. But I definitely think, you know, potions aren't a bad thing. Like Gemma said, if there's fire-resistant potions to be found. I know there's not a map of any of the Hells, right? Is there? Is that a thing? Can we...
Oh, there is.
No shit?
Can we buy
Av-
one?
Aventahala. There is not one here,
Oh.
but Aventahala will provide one for all of you
Oh,
in just a
okay.
couple of
Okay,
days.
cool.
Yeah.
What a pro.
Okay.
The thing is with maps of the Nine Hells, if you try to draw it out on any other type of normal parchment, it doesn't stick. The only type of parchment it can be written on is parchment that is dried flesh.
I was gonna
Oh.
say it better be skin, or I don't want it.
It is. It is. You'll see
I
when
think
it.
about Lila now. Jesus.
That was
If it-
Felicity, not Lila.
Okay.
Yeah, that definitely.
I'm the freak.
Oh, that's better.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything that could do.
I think we should buy a few maybe superior healing potions instead of just greater, just because of how much HP we have now. That greater's kind of like not gonna get us really where we
Yeah.
want.
I'm fine.
But I
I'm
also
fine with
think
that.
I think just, like, any potions I think is good, because, like, obviously even, like, greater's not going to do that much, but, like, if we're between, you know, combats, theoretically, like, we've just ended something in really bad shape and we don't want to use up spell slots, like, I think it's good to just pop a few potions, you know,
Yeah.
not worrying about action economy.
And if we have all this money, we might as well get like 3 for each person, right? Like we got a lot of money.
Look, how pricey are superiors, though?
Superiors are only 500 gold. Supremes are
Okay.
1200. But Supremes heal
But
you for
Superior's
10d.
buff.
Superior is 8d4 plus 8, but Supremes are 10d4 plus 20.
Bruh. And they're... what was that, 1,200?
Yeah, 1200.
I mean, if we all want to have one of those and then get 2 superiors, God, why are they both S's? I hate that. That
Down.
because
Mhm.
then that's what 2,200 per person.
2,200 per person.
Yes.
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool.
2,200, and that's so each of us get a sorry.
2 superiors and a supreme.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because Supreme's the highest one. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
hmm
Okay, so we get 2 superiors and a supreme.
Yep. And
Okay,
just as a
me.
quick reminder, as you're adding these to your inventory, remember with potions, you can choose on your turn to drink it as an action or a bonus action. If you drink a potion as an action, you don't roll, you just regain the maximum. Rolled possible. If you do it as a bonus action, then you roll for it. So a supreme, drinking it as an action can heal you for 60 HP.
Oh shit, that's great.
So I'm typing in potion of and then type S, and I'm
I
not
just
seeing.
type in healing,
healing.
instead.
Potion of healing.
Yeah, just type in healing and they'll pop up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Ah,
the
they're
fuck?
in parentheses. Okay. So
Weird.
1 superior, 2 supreme.
Wait, no, other way
No,
around.
it's
One
2
supreme,
superior,
2
1
superiors.
Yeah.
Okay, 1
Supreme.
supreme.
1 purple, 2 blues.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Colors.
And then that was how much money do I gotta subtract?
2200.
2,200. Yeah.
Just do 2 letters, SU and SU. Fuck.
Yeah.
3 SUP. Fuck.
Because I also say, because yeah, because I don't know where everyone's at with their gold count, but everyone also would have gotten 1,000 gold from the Forest of Vaults.
Thank you
Oh,
for
okay.
saying that.
Yeah,
And if
I'll
you
add that.
needed more money, then we could take more money. Just let me know, because I realized I should probably update the thing.
Oh, and from the vaults, I think the only item that I talked about for Lila that hadn't been claimed was the circlet of Zone of Truth. Is that an attunement circlet?
It is not. Nope, just one-time use. If you are
Okay.
going to take it, I'll need to make a magic item for it because it's not in there right now.
Oh, okay. I mean,
It's not a big deal,
yeah,
but
I think Lila would, because I don't think. Well, Yorick, you have Zone of Truth, right? No?
Mm,
I thought that was a paladin spell, but
yeah,
I
think you
don't
can.
Between the two
remember.
of you, one of you should be able to prepare it at least.
Yeah.
Surely.
actually, I think I can prepare Zone of Truth too.
Especially if we're going to be interviewing
it's cleric
people.
and paladin spells, yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean,
It's not one of my go-tos to prepare, but I can.
same. I don't really.
But if
go
we ever
to-
need it, though, you know, is the thing.
Yeah, it's good to have. So yeah, Lila
Yeah.
will take it
Okay.
because
all right,
then
cool.
it doesn't go against the spell slot. It's just boom. Sword of Truth. I'll put it in my others until it's ready. I still got 3 diamonds, right? I didn't use any that I remember.
Nope.
Okay, because I have it here in my notes.
No one has
never
needed to be
die.
revivified.
Yeah.
Needed to
And
heal
then
a lot
the
of people, but
manifests.
It's the more expensive diamonds too, so I can use it for the bigger one.
Very good. Very, very, very good indeed.
Yeah, I think.
Huh.
Then. Oh, and then who's carrying the greater healing? Who's carrying the? So we got 3 greater, 2 potions of heroism, and 1 potion of
Yeah,
invisibility.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I was just gonna keep track of things in the sheet itself, rather than worry
Okay.
about divvying it out too much.
that
um,
works for me.
Yeah. Just, yeah, we're gonna loot all the potions. I think that's have it
Mm-hmm.
set now.
We will. All right.
All right, all right, all right. Okay. That's it?
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
that's it from me.
Okay. So, you
sorry, there was
all-
one thing, just a
Oh.
question.
Yo.
So Yorick's been reading from the manual bodily health and doing that stuff. So is he done the day Eventahala arrives, or how does that work? Because it says 6 days.
Over the course of 6 days, it needs to be 48 hours total of reading. So, yes, you would be able
Yes.
to have it done by then. And Zevran would also be able to have it done by then. So let me... Unless, Lila, you wanted to do it, which...
So remind me what reading it does.
It increases
2
your
to
intelligence score by 2.
Oh, well then, yeah, I'd like to read. Well, Zephyr and Lila could probably read it together.
It's
There's only
for
one use
one
of
person.
it. Yeah. Which probably should go to the player character because Zevran
Wait.
already has. It is a permanent
Sorry,
increase
I
of your.
misunderstood. No, give
yeah.
it to Zephyr so he has 22. I misunderstood. I thought Yorick was reading from it, and then Zevran was reading from it, and then Lila was. I thought that's what
Two
No.
different books.
Yeah, he has one that increases Constitution, and then the one for Zevran
Gotcha.
Lila is Intelligence.
No, give it to Zevran. That's fun.
Okay.
My intelligence stuff. I already have like so much. I'm good. I guess is all I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Because I mean, for him, it's his spell casting. She's like mechanically, it's only for flavor. So.
Okay.
For D&D Beyond, do I have to go in and manually change Yorick's Constitution, or do I add the manual bodily health and it'll do it, or how does that work?
What you'll need to do, I think I might need to do it actually.
Okay.
Is you pretty much just add an additional modifier to your thing. I can just go in and do it real quick because I don't. I mean, it should let you, but that's okay. I can do it real quick. Just because I know the
As w-
specific spot where it's supposed to be.
I just know it also increases your maximum, which Yorick's not going to get to 22 con, but I just wasn't sure if you had to do it somewhere specific.
Constitution, other modifier, +2. So that should bring his Constitution up to 18, right?
Let me refresh, and I will tell you shortly. Boom! Yep.
All right.
Good.
What's his AC at?
Con doesn't affect AC, so it's still 22.
Oh, my bad. Apologize for my stupidity.
Letting you know.
I'm just kidding. My bad. I thought it did.
If you're a barbarian, it does.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't
Yeah,
know
because
that.
they're amongst unarmed defenses, wisdom, barbarians is con. Yeah.
Okay, that's where my mind was apparently.
You're
I
still
figured
trapped in
everything.
Alec.
No, I'm not mad.
Okay.
I miss Alec.
Me too.
Me too.
All right.
Anyway.
So with that, on that sad note, does anybody have anything else they are doing over the course of these 3 days?
Y'all. But
Oh.
I also have been talking a lot, so if someone else wants to go, please go.
I'm done until we go, so please go ahead.
I
Big
could
lit.
come up with stuff, but I'm good otherwise.
Okay.
Okay,
Malphine.
now obviously it doesn't have to be big. He doesn't want to bother Lila because he feels like he's been annoying. So he's gonna go to, I guess, a temple place.
Mhm. Okay.
Peruse. Okay, cool. So Nalfian is usually pretty confident in all things that he does. This is definitely not. And there's a moment where he kind of hesitates and he considers going back to get Lila, but he doesn't, again, want to keep bothering her. So he's gonna, like, listen, replaying the conversation they just had. He's gonna, like, go inside and just, like, linger in the back for a second. Like, yeah, I belong here. Yup. Do that lean against the back wall thing. And just kind of, like, look around the space, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know, is there like a depiction to Palor somewhere in here?
Yeah, there is. You can see that there are currently 8 statues to 8 different divines within this area. There are names clearly written on them, even from as far back as you are. There's one to Arathis, the crafter. One to the Raven Queen, the Raven. One to Palor, the Light. One to Bahamut, the Maker. One to Ayun, the Tone. One to Moradin, the Hammer. And then one to Corellian, the Musician. And finally one to Cord, the Storm.
Okay, well, he's gonna go over to the Palor one.
Mhm.
Is there anyone else by it or no?
Yeah, there's tons of people in the temple. They're all very
Oh.
silent. They are giving homage and prayers to their deities. And as you approach the Palor statue, looking around, you hear someone approach, footsteps very light behind you as they say, "Is there something I can help you with, my child?"
Oh, No, I'm fine. But thanks, I'm just... He does this weird thing where he just gestures to the statue and, like, little jazz hands, I guess.
Have you looked at the individual, or you just kind of wave him off?
No, he'll look at the individual. He, like, turned and does that at the same time.
Okay. You can see a half-elven man. Definitely seems like the other half is of drow lineage.
Sweet.
You can see that his head is completely shaven, as well as the smooth face. And you can see the deep red hue to his eyes, but the rounded out points of his ears. And his face isn't nearly as sharp and angular as yours, which obviously not, but even for a full elf, not nearly as full.
All right.
As he seems older, there is some visibility of age, probably in his early hundreds. As he says, "It just seems as though you are not quite as familiar. And if you needed any help, I'd be more than happy to assist."
Yeah. Pretty easy to see right through me, then. I'm familiar? No. I actually don't know anything about Paylor, and... You know, if nothing, kind of looking at him, I'm sure you know. How does a drow end up in a position like that?
There are many different stories. But the one that I think is true, or at least the one I choose to believe in my own heart, is he and his companions were in danger. They were hurting. And someone needed to sacrifice to give them time to live. And the drow that he was from the Underdark. I don't think anyone ever assumed that it would have been him. But he chose to sacrifice himself. To put himself in harm's way so his companions could survive. It is twinned with tragedy, though. They say that not all of his companions survived. Most did, but still, more lives were lost. It's something that still haunts him to this day, I hear.
A great sacrifice regardless, I mean. Look at him, right? But I'm sure he didn't do that because he thought he'd end up as a god for any means necessary. I'm sure it was just who he was. Even if people didn't think that way. I assume.
I think out of the two of us, you would best know how people could see someone like that.
Thank you for the history lesson.
Of course. And you may have already heard, you may have already learned of this. I don't think you just stumbled in here. There had to be something that set you on this path. Paylor is not just a god of light, but of mercy, of compassion and renewal. For when the sun sets, it dawns again the next day. Many of us are inspired by your story, Nalthian. And I don't think that there's any more homage you need to pay to Paylor other than just living life the way you have been. I know there might feel like a burden to go to a temple and to pray, but You can dedicate your life in other ways. I can't fight. I tried to learn, but it's not something I can do. So I pay my homage to Paylor in this way. I help others find their path, to find light and balance. You're different than me, though. I don't think you need to follow the same path as going to a temple to pay tithes and pray. I think you can honor him in other ways.
Nalfian just kind of looks at him and then looks over to the statue. And he just shakes his head. Yeah, I appreciate that. I'm not used to people coming up and recognizing me for something like this, so it was nice. Thank you. And Alpha, like, extend his hand.
Yeah, the half-drow man will shake it in return. You can feel a warmth as you clasp his hand and shake it.
Yeah, and... Oh, go ahead.
Good luck on your mission, Alfian. Wherever it may take you, may Paylor's light guide you.
Now full nod. I'll just hang around for a little bit longer, not really saying or doing much, just kind of watching and observing people, and he'll make his way back.
Okay. Alrighty. Sounds good. You leave the partially open-air, exposed temple and head back to the keep. So, as you head back to the keep, rejoining with your friends and companions, was that it, Nalfian?
Yep.
Okay. Alrighty. So with that, the next few days pass, and our companions, they do what they need to do. They continue to read their manuals or tomes to enhance their abilities. They rest, they relax, knowing how much of a whirlwind these next few weeks are going to be for them. So, you buy your potions, you ready yourself, and then eventually, Aventahala arrives. So, with that, let me go ahead and we'll see if this one's good. Okay. As all of you gather, you receive a message first, Yorick, that she will be arriving soon, so that way nobody's surprised when a fiery portal opens up in the cafeteria of the keep where all of you are currently eating. You confer that to the rest of the group, and Aventahala arrives. The ground begins to illuminate with infernal fire as she rises above. She looks to all of you, and you can see that she is tired, but she's here. Bless you. And she says, well, it is time then. I have made discoveries, I have the contracts finalized, and I know generally the path all of you will be taking. It will not be easy, as there have been several complications. I'll go over all of those with you now, and I'll let you read over the contract. But then after that, it will be time for all of you to descend into the hells. So if there's anything else you have left to do here in Dragon's Bay, now would be the time. And since nobody has anything else, yeah.
I was wondering if we could talk real quick.
Yes, we can. I do also have something for you.
Oh, I forgot about that, actually.
Well, then, yes, we can talk in private momentarily.
Cool. Just wanted to throw that out there before you sent us off.
Yeah, of course, of course. Then, please, I will tell you all of your journey and what I've discovered in just a moment, and Yorick, you and her can walk off just to get a little bit of privacy.
Yeah, just a, wall or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I did some things while you were gone. Did some digging. I had a lovely chat with the Raven Queen. She seemed nice. Once. But, long story short, I figured out where Osmodeus is holding your soul. He still has it, like, fully formed, I guess. Mostly formed. So, am I reading any emotion on her face right now?
No, she seems rather stonewalled right now.
Okay. Not the reaction I was hoping for. So anyways, once we go and get that, she said that we'd be able to make you humanoid again. So you don't have to, stay a devil forever. If you don't want to.
$2,000 years. $2,000 years I've been stuck in this form. And you're telling me there's a way out?
Yeah.
Yorick, you know that a part of me is inside of you. You know that, right?
Yes. That was brought up.
Do you know what would happen to you if that were to happen?
I would change. She was rather vague about it. I think she said she even didn't know what would happen to me.
I cannot tell you, I cannot lie and say that I'm not intrigued, that I'm not interested. I want to know more. And the idea is tempting. If this were to happen, I would gladly give you your soul back. After all, I would have no use for it, and I wouldn't want some other devil to have hold of it.
That seems fair.
But I don't know what it would do to you. If you gain your soul back and a fraction of what makes you you now is removed, there's no telling what it could do to you.
Look, the way I look at it, and I get what you're saying, so don't correct me here, but like, people change and lose parts of themselves all the time. It's part of just living. And I'm still me. A part of me is my parents, a part of me is you, a part of me is the Wild Hunt, but somewhere in there is me too, you know? And yeah, maybe something will change, but I think the things that make me the most me will still be there. I mean, you lost your soul. I'm holding on to this fragment of you, and you're still very much you, it seems. No one would have lasted this long without having an incredibly strong will come with them down there.
You're very persuasive, you know that, Yorick.
Yes.
Good. Okay. All right. We can try.
Yeah, I mean, I can't make any promises, but I just wanted you to know that there's a chance and we're gonna go for it, you know?
Okay. All right. And you see her kind of think for a moment. Even if it doesn't work, Yorick, do you know why devils take souls?
I assume just because they could. I guess I don't know.
There's another reason. That's part of it, the power play, manipulating, stealing, taking what others have. There's another element, though. A devil can preserve life for as long as they have souls to either consume or souls powerful enough to sustain. I've lived for 2,000 years because I took souls and I either consumed them or because they were powerful enough to keep me alive, like yours. If this doesn't work, and there's a new leader to the Nine Hells that I can trust, just trust enough to know that something like this won't happen again, I will give you your soul back regardless. I trust you to keep that part of me alive and healthy. If I can't go back to what I used to be, I don't think I want to be a part of this anymore.
I know. You never said it, but it's been all over your face the past few months. We don't know how any of this is going to turn out, but like I said, we're taking it on together, right?
Right. Okay. All right. We'll do it then. We'll try. Okay.
Let's go to the others.
And with that, all of you can see Yorick, oh my god, excuse me, and Aventahala turn. With that, you can see she puts on a bit of a facade, covering up maybe some of the true emotion she was feeling. One that is more devilish, confident, especially since there is a very difficult game that all of you are about to go play. The manipulation and persuading of some of the most powerful archdevils within Avernus. She says, so, what all of you are about to go through, I apologize. I wish there was a better way to do this, but I'm afraid this is how it's going to have to happen. There are some travel complications. Direct teleportation to Stygia is not possible, due to the heightened alert and walls that have been established caused by the Empyrean that destroyed the city of Dis. No idea who did that, So that
What?
means that all of you will need a bit more of a covert approach in. You will need to take the river Styx all the way through the layers of hell. Your journey's already been paid for. You'll need to travel through the first 4 layers of hell, taking the river Styx. Sadly, there is not a clear path for mortals like yourself to travel. At a certain point in each of the 4 layers, the first 4 layers of the 9 hells, you'll need to disembark, travel by foot, and then re-embark on the boat, continuing your journey. So, I can teleport you into Avernus. I have enough power to break through Zariel's gate there. Once you arrive within Stygia, right near the river Styx, there will be someone waiting for you. One of the chosen of Levistus, one of his most loyal generals. Agares. Give me a second to find. Too much text in my notes. I'll go ahead and post that. As I said, he is one of the most devout of Levistus. Carries out much of the orders that he receives from Levistus inside the iceberg. He will meet you, and he will give you more details of what exactly Glacia and her knights are planning for Levistus. But as I said, at points you will be noticed in each one of the 9 layers. In each one of the 4 that you travel through, in Avernus, in Dis, Minaris, and Felagethos. You will need to fight. All of you are strong enough, I know you can handle it, but it's something that you'll need to do. However, once you arrive in Stygia, it will be a bit more of a grueling journey. Stygia is a frozen realm. Icy landscapes, frigid seas, labyrinths of ice. I don't know what Glacia and her soldiers are planning, but they're doing something there. That's in Stygia in particular. Even further down from there, you'll need to liberate Belzebul and Maladomini. Maladomini is the ruined city of the 7th layer of the 9 hells. He has been imprisoned in his never-complete Colossus city, surrounded by legions of Glacia's followers. A siege. They try to break through the gates, but they keep finding more of them. The failed projects protect him currently. You'll want to get to his central keep before she does and force him into signing the contract. And then finally, there is Mephistopheles in Khania. Mephistopheles is the most powerful archdevil aside from Asmodeus himself. In constant competition with Asmodeus, he wants nothing more than to be the leader of the 9 hells himself. He will by far be your hardest challenge and the most difficult person to convince. Currently now, however, Asmodeus... one of Asmodeus's most trusted generals, now swain to Glacia's side, Tarlac, which I believe Yorick you became acquainted with.
Briefly.
He is quite a powerful mage in his own right. There's a magical stasis that surrounds Mephistopheles' keep. Time stopped. Unable to move, unable to do anything. They pilfer through his keep, and should they make their way all the way up to the icy heart of Mephistopheles' tower and place a killing blow, it will all be for naught. with all three of these devils, the three most powerful that exist aside from Glacia and Asmodeus himself, all three of them under control of the new leader of the Nine Hells that you pick, will be enough to overthrow her and any of her followers. This also means that the four, or the... Sorry, I'm double-checking my notes right now, too. So much. Of the usurpers, their 4 layers of hell will need to be repopulated with leaders they can trust as well. So, real quick, I'm going to go ahead and share. And there's little text associated with each of them where there might be, something that is relevant later on. Don't have to read it, but it's just, just a little thing. There are 3 people that are assisting Glacia. So, just as a reminder, we'll go ahead and go through the usurpers real quick. There's Glacia. Of course. Beauty Grace. Miss United States.
She's cute.
Miss Nine Hells, yeah. There
Agreed.
is then Fierna, which is the leader of the 4th layer, Delgethos. She is known as the
Names in
Infernal.
chat as well, please.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, I'm actually going to share a document that has all the names and
thank
their
God.
titles and
Oh,
everything.
right, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so here, I'll also
That's what then.
configure
Can we use that to
Observer.
follow along?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and share that too. So that has all the names
Ooh.
and their text. So, Fierna is the Infernal Usurper. The 4th layer of the Nine Hells used to be a co-leadership between her and her father, but being inspired by Glacia, she decided that, well, it was probably better if she did it anyway. Then there is
Rebel
Mammon.
girls with their rebel yell.
Yep. Mammon is actually a Lich Devil hybrid. So he was a devil that never wanted to run into the situation where he ran out of souls. So he ascended to Lichdom as well. Mammon is, or Minaris is different in the fact where it is actually quite a, I don't want to say beautiful place, but it's covered in green. Except it is like swamp and hot springs and like corrupted groves. Morchella probably would have found a home in Mammon if she wasn't so power hungry. And then finally, of course, there is Zariel. I'll go ahead and I'll put his art to the chat. And then there finally is Zariel, the warlord of Avernus. Which, yeah, of course. So those are the the spa episode. Yeah.
Joe, those ones in the stream, they're only seeing like the bottom half of the art.
Oh shit.
Oh, sorry. It's probably because of all the talking.
No, it's just because the images are so
the
long.
Images are yeah.
Oh.
Okay, here, wait. I got it. So that's Zariel, Mammon,
And the ladies are just really taking over the hells, huh?
Fierna.
Oh, yeah.
We'll put a stop to that. Right,
And then-
gang?
And then Glacia.
Down with
Patriarchy
feminism.
now.
Patriarchy.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. The patriarchy ruins the hells. Like, that's... If the women
is
do it,
just
it's going to be too
Barbie
powerful.
land.
Okay, now we need to refine our options. So our options for new leader is now just Asmodeus, Yorick.
That's
I
it.
guess that's it, right? 'Cause-
The Radiant
And-
Dread is gender neutral,
Yeah.
right?
Yep,
They,
are.
um...
Can't have any of
Sorry,
that.
yeah, so either Asmodeus or Yorick. That's our choices now.
Can't have any of
Oh,
that.
is Levistus female?
Nope.
I missed
Mm.
that.
Male.
Oh, there we go.
Good.
Okay, there we go. So we got 3 options.
Only men. Men
Okay.
shall rule the hell.
Men.
And
men,
then,
men.
Mojo, past the house.
she will go into the Asmodeus Loyalists, which are all men, which is really funny. Well, I don't know if you
Wow,
can
there we
call
go.
Beelzebul is not a man. We'll get to that in a second.
I need art.
I don't
Joe,
think. Yeah,
quick question before
Yeah.
you keep going.
yeah.
Sorry, you mentioned Tarlock. Is he still alive?
He is. Yeah,
He survived the Empyrean smashing him into the floor?
he
What
did.
a
Yeah.
bastard.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey, magic will get you out of a lot.
yeah, fair enough.
However, a lot
We'll
of
fix
her
that for sure this time.
knights are dead. That's good. Now she just has shitty imps. Those guys.
We can take those.
Yeah. So then we go into the 3 loyalists of Asmodeus, which is Levistus, Beelzebul, and Mephisto, which all of you already know about. So I'll go ahead and put the arts in the chat first as I'll go ahead and show to players. Oh, wait a second. I did that wrong. I need to do Observer.
He
Ooh,
looks
look at
sick.
this.
Oh, okay.
So there
Oh,
is.
yep, Beelzebub.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay,
He's
well, hey,
yeah.
wait, don't get too far ahead, all right?
Oh, sorry. There's
Oh,
So-
my bad.
so
Sorry,
there-
I wrote it all.
There is Levistus, the Icebound Prince. So, as I said before, the reason he was sealed away is because Asmodeus was jealous of how good he was during the first war against the Shadow. Very, very good. That's why he's sealed away. But he's so powerful that he still, mentally controls so many devils that exist within his area. Then there is Beelzebul, the Lord of Flies. This half insectoid, half devil creature. He is absolutely horrid and disgusting of his lair of the 9 hells. And then finally there is Mephisto, the Frost of Khania. Mephisto,
Ooh, dandy.
yeah, he is a man of high fashion and swagger. There is a reason why Asmodeus was so nervous of Mephisto taking over, is because Mephisto has and this is something she would tell you, any words Mephisto speaks, you, regardless, demon, devil, humanoid, beast, you believe them to be true, regardless of how outrageous of a lie it may be.
Mm.
You just want to agree with him. You know that what he's saying is true. His words are going to be by far the most dangerous that you all have to deal with.
Damn. He's got good art too. That makes it so much harder.
So
and
that
all of it's really good.
And with that, I will now move you, as the final thing Eventahala will show you is your map of the 9 hells. And I'll go ahead and scroll through. Did I scroll through on here? Yeah, I did. Okay. Your map of the 9 hells, which she will unfurl, and she does inform all of you before anybody touches it that it is embedded into human flesh. So it is tattooed on somebody's body. She doesn't throw the body. She just pulls the skin from the back. As it's been dried.
Skin or I don't want it.
Yep. So I'll go ahead and activate. The fire that's on here is artistic because Dis is in disarray. As we
Fun.
look at the 9 hells of
Sorry,
Bator.
not sorry.
This is a fun little map.
It's so
fun.
fun.
So all of you,
I love the file.
yeah, all of you will be starting in Avernus, and you'll have to take the
my
river
gosh.
Styx all the way down and
So cool.
across the Stygia down here, where Levistus is currently trapped away. You can see him there. You can see Beelzebul trapped within his city.
Can you mark where the tomb is also?
Ooh,
Oh.
good point.
Yes.
Oh,
It's also down here.
Or are we still needing to find?
We'll probably
where
have to
that
find
is?
it.
Yeah.
But which layer was that in?
It was in
It's
Khania.
Khania, right?
Yeah, okay.
Oh, towards the end. Okay.
So I will actually I have a token for Malice, so let me just throw her down.
That'll do it.
Malice is badly injured. Not anymore,
Good.
motherfucker.
Damn.
No.
Okay, she's no longer targeted either. Okay. So right, where is it? It is right about there.
This
It is-
cool.
It is in one of the lowest, darkest parts of Khania.
Okay. Makes sense.
Okay. So that is what you're looking at in terms of where you need to go. Malbolgi will be a very treacherous lair to navigate. You will have to go through there, which is Glacia's lair. So Malbolge is the prison of the 9
Prison.
hells. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Where's that at?
It is the 6th lair.
This one.
6th layer,
Um,
okay.
Yeah, do I have a token for Glacia? I do not yet.
Oh my god, this
um,
is feeling like fucking they're playing like Mortal Kombat and you have to go through the different fucking layers and levels.
We're playing Dante's Inferno. What do you mean?
Oh
That's
my
what I
gosh.
keep thinking too.
Yeah, that passed through my head too.
Beatrice!
What a terrible game.
Yeah. Tried really hard to be God of
Alrighty.
War.
It
Failed.
so did.
Well, I was
Alrighty.
thinking like actual Dante's Inferno.
I'm Gemma. Thank
Well,
you.
it's
I was
different.
yeah,
like,
I mean,
game.
I was too, but I mean, I also played the game.
I've never
Dante's
played the game,
Inferno
but
was
I've
a
read the
fun
book.
game.
No, it wasn't. It was bad.
All right. But then finally, the pièce de résistance that she offers to all of you is the ability to read over the devil contract that you will force all of these three to sign to swear fealty to the new Lord of the Nine Hells, the Tyrant King or Queen, you know.
Or the king.
No, screw that shit.
Patriarch.
Men.
Now here's the thing. I couldn't include it as a journal note because there was so much and it didn't format correctly. So it is a link to a Google Doc inside a journal note.
Oh boy.
That's funny.
All right.
You know I love my Google Docs there.
Observer. So you can go ahead and
Just the link.
yep.
I don't know why that was so funny.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and
Okay.
I'll go ahead and read this. Contract of the fealty to Lord Tyrant King of the Nine Hells. This contract is made in perpetuity and is legally binding in all planes and realms where infernal law is recognized. Parties. This contract is between the undersigned archdevil, vassal of the specific lair of the Nine Hells, and the Lord Tyrant King of the Nine Hells, sovereign, whose name shall be inscribed upon ascension. Terms of fealty. Allegiance. The vassal hereby pledges unwavering loyalty and subservience to the sovereign, renouncing any former allegiances that conflict with this contract. Obedience. The vassal agrees to execute all lawful commands issued by the sovereign on their designated representatives without delay or question. Assistance. Upon request, the vassal shall provide military, strategic, or any other form of support to the sovereign, subject to the limitations of infernal law and this contract. Non-aggression. The vassal shall refrain from any action, direct or indirect, that would harm the sovereign, their interests, or their dominion. Part 3. Sovereignty. Protection. The sovereign agrees to protect the vassal from external threats and plots that may jeopardize their dominion over their designated lair of the Nine Hells. Autonomy. The vassal retains control over their lair of the Nine Hells, subject to the sovereign's overarching authority and terms outlined in this contract. Conflict resolution. Any dispute between vassals will be arbitrated by the sovereign or an appointed representative, whose decision shall be final and binding. Retribution and servitude. Breach of contract. In the event of a breach of any of the terms of this contract by the vassal shall be subject to immediate retribution, included but not limited to death, eternal servitude, or other forms of infernal punishment as deemed appropriate by the sovereign or the laws of the Nine Hells. Eternal servitude. In case of death as retribution, the soul of the vassal shall be bound in eternal servitude to the sovereign, forfeiting all claims of power, autonomy, and previous rank. Part 5. Binding magic. Enforcement. The contract is magically binding and is enforced by the inherent laws of the Nine Hells. Breach any term of this will result in immediate and severe internal retribution. Permanence. This contract remains in effect until the end of time or until the sovereign is lawfully dethroned or abdicates their throne. Part 6. Severability. Should any provision of this contract be found unenforceable or void, the remainder of the contract remains in full effect. 7. Governing laws. This contract is governed and constituted in accordance with the laws of the Nine Hells. And then finally, Part 7. Signatures. The vassal shall affix their signature as a seal below in the presence of the notary of the infernal courts as a symbol of their acceptance of the terms herein. Signature. Part 8. Part 9. That's out of order. Or
Wait,
not
who's
out
the
of...
notary?
So, Aventahala would explain, when you go to have somebody sign this, all you do is call upon the notaries of the Nine Hells, and it is pretty much like a government agency in Nessus that is entirely independent of everything else, and they notarize. They say, yes, I saw this. Yes, this is official. This is a rule of the Nine Hells. And each one of the different rulers of the archdevils, they all have a non-aggression pact saying they cannot influence or affect in any way, shape, or form. It is a 3,000-page document going into how they can do nothing to affect the outcome of the notary.
Wow.
We
Yeah.
love
Crazy.
an autonomous legislative body.
I
Yeah.
know, right? Only in a fantasy world, though.
Wowzers.
Well, in all worlds.
With that, finally, ascension. Upon the ascension of the new sovereign, their name shall be inscribed hereunder, rendering this contract complete and in full force. So that's the thing. You can have them sign their contracts, but they are under no law to serve you until you pick a leader of the Nine Hells.
Oh.
So you could have Levistus sign it. But if you haven't picked who, Levistus has no obligation to serve you in any way, shape, or form until you pick somebody.
Yeah, we should probably have that chosen before we.
Yeah.
Well, before we need them to
For
sign.
for round
Yeah.
1, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Let me check. Let me
Yep,
see if there's
looks
anything
official.
else. Right.
Looks official to me.
Yeah, feels good.
My favorite part is the thing where it's just like it has to be lawfully dethroned. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the whole thing, is like you
you
can't.
can't just be dethroned by like another body, and the person like, oh well, I don't serve you anymore. Like it has to be lawful.
Yep. Mhm.
Great.
That's why Osmodeus has reigned for so long. Dude was a master debater.
Mm.
He was in that club, speech and
Yeah.
debate.
Yeah, he was. Alrighty.
Well, seems solid.
Yeah.
Yeah, your penmanship is lovely.
Thank you. Okay.
Well,
So, on a boat we go.
Yeah.
Down the river.
As I said,
Yeah.
provided there's nothing else that all of you need to do, we can depart. Except
I'm ready.
one thing, I'm so sorry I keep forgetting. Yorick.
yeah, good. I was like, do I have to bring it up again?
You dropped a lot on her in that moment, so
I
in
did,
my
I did.
defense, it's okay.
That's why I
that she
wasn't being an
forgot.
asshole about it.
Okay. So, let me go ahead and go to here real quick, just so I can have it pulled up first. She will say, and one last thing, Yorick, as I promised you, you would go into it protected. You would have ways to keep your friends safe. In my communing with other individuals and gaining of allies that may be able to help you there, I was able to find this in the city of Dis. It has no allegiance to Dispater or Glacia or any of the devils. It is its own independent creature, I suppose. I don't quite know. But I found out what it's able to do. This creature, a symbiote of sorts. It is a living thing that integrates itself into the armor of the wearer, enhancing it to be something truly extraordinary. They're incredibly rare and were only reserved for Dispater's loyal guard. However, all of them are dead now. So you would be the only person to have access to the Infernal Aegis. And she will reach into a satchel at her side and pull out, confined into a glass jar, this creature that looks, I called it a symbiote. It looks very similar to like the Venom symbiote as it like presses up against the walls of the glass and like sort of climbs around, sticking to the side. But you can see there are these veins of like molten rock and magma that glow underneath the skin. Skin? Essence of this creature.
There we go. Underneath whatever it is.
Ball of skin.
The layer. Wow, that was, I was expecting like a new helmet or something. That's, wow. Is it safe?
It has no allegiance to Dispater or any of those laws since the city of Dis is destroyed.
Yeah. So
You-
it's safe, right?
You have my word that it is safe for you to use.
That's all I wanted to hear.
I promise I was not doing devil talk right there. That was just...
No, I know. I just needed to hear it. Okay.
I understand.
Not what I was expecting this morning.
You and me both,
All right,
bucko.
so I just like I put out my arm, or like how does this work?
I think so, yeah. As she just uncorks it and like angles it, and it sort of drops onto your armor. And Yorick, you can feel it like go and like sort of cling onto your face and then shriek away from the skin as it begins to just move around the armor, and you can see it seep into the metal. And you can feel the metal begin to grow and expand, to shape in different ways. This thing is literally, like on a molecular level, is moving around the armor, causing it to grow as it fills in spots to make it stronger.
Ooh.
But not only that, to enhance it, to make it so much more than what it could be before. However, you can tell that the creature that rests inside your armor, now permanently, it's hungry. It wants more. It wants you to gain power. It wants you to dominate. Not any implication that you need to take the throne of the Nine Hells. I want to be very specific.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. But it wants you to do more. To either dominate devils, to bend individuals to your will, to make them afraid of you in some aspects, or just to show it how strong you are. It's not sentient. It just has instincts. As you can now add the Infernal Aegis to your inventory. It's currently dormant. And I don't think it'll work, so we might have to edit your AC permanently. Your AC is not going to change at all right now, except because the default armor class of this armor is 19 instead of 18. However, in its dormant state, it only adds a +1 magic bonus. So your AC stays the same, but it will have the ability to go up to high. I forget. It's 19. You're at +2 right now. Your AC is 22, so it can go up to 24.
Damn.
When it's exalted.
Right, but still.
Yeah, and
Cool.
all 3 of the states are listed there, so you'll know what you get with each one. Right now, +1 bonus to AC. The armor has 3 charges. You can expend the charges to either cast Command or 2 charges to cast Enemies Abound. Any fiend that you can see within 60 feet will make the save with disadvantage.
Cool.
Yep, and then there's more as it gets more.
Yeah, I'm reading them. I'm already excited. I'll tell you guys later.
My favorite one is the Exalted State that lets you cast that spell.
Oh shit. Okay, I hadn't gotten that far, so I just scrolled down. That last effect though is pretty fucking cool. But yeah, like I said, we'll talk later.
Yep. Okay. So with that symbiote embedded into his armor, Glacia will
Aventahala.
Aventahala. I'm so sorry. Mother-daughter. Mother-father. Or mother-daughter.
No, you were right. You were right the first time.
Okay.
Wowzers.
You know how it can be.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. So with that,
To the hells.
to the hells.
Run to the
Let's go to
hells.
hell.
The
We-
world
Yeah.
is a hell. Okay.
Do do do
Yeah.
do.
I
Set to
fell
burn.
into the ring of fire.
I'm so sorry. Okay, so I did
No,
not mean to
don't
start
be.
this. Okay. So with that, what does this sound like? Yeah, okay. So with that, a portal opens. Aventahala beckons all of you through. Rested, learned, Zevran with you in all of this.
Woo-woo.
You enter into the 9 hells of Bator. Starting off at the point where the river Styx begins. Activate this now. You can see boat waits for you. A hooded ferryman stands, his arm gestured out to the boat in front of him, beckoning all of you to take your places. As your ferry has already been paid, all you need to do now is survive the journey.
Well, let's get going. Yorick will head over. Good to see you again as he gets on the boat.
The ferryman nods his head as you enter.
I mean, yeah, Lila will enter. She looks comfortable, but she will enter.
With that, all of you enter, and you all begin the long, winding river ride down the river Styx. You can hear the churning of war off in the distance. And all of you know, as soon as you crest over a small hill, the first lair of the 9 hells of Bator, Avernus, it greets you with a landscape of chaos and destruction. Avernus is a war-torn wasteland where skies of ash rain down embers and rivers of lava carve through the barren, scorched earth. A constant clash of battle echoes in the distance as legions of devils engage in their endless war, while lost souls and demonic scavengers roam freely, preying on the weak. You begin your journey. You row. Every once in a while, seeing a battle between demons and devils break out. And you even think for a moment off in the distance you see this bright spark of hellish light that you know must come from Zariel herself, fighting on the front lines. You pray to whatever gods you take counsel in that she does not see. For while you believe you may be able to take her, she is not your mission right now. You have other things you need to worry about. So, you continue on. About 2 hours of rowing, until eventually you end at a dock. You can see that there is this churning torrent of river in front of all of you. There's no way ahead on the boat itself. You don't know how the ferryman is going to make his way through, but he simply points off in the distance, instructing you to walk. Ventahala told you, follow his orders. He will pick you back up on the next spot where you don't have to be submerged.
All right. We should trust him. He knows this place better than anyone. Yorick will hop off.
Okay. Alrighty. Everybody following suit?
Yep.
Okay. Alrighty, as all of you begin to walk, what is your marching order?
Yeah.
Yorick would be first, I think, just having the most familiarity with the hells in general.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say Nalf would be pretty close up next to Yorick.
Okay. So right by his side.
Yeah.
Echo Nalth out.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I don't like this line of questioning anymore.
Yeah.
I
Seems
mean, I feel like Lila
suspicious.
would be behind them, probably next to Twig, assuming Twig's also in the back. Her.
Yeah, Twig would be staying very close to Lila. Oh. This place.
We would have Yuri in the middle for just simplicity's sake. Cool.
And we'll say on either side of Twig, we have Lila on one side, Zevran on the other.
Oh, perfect.
Okay. So with that, you all march, walking as swiftly as you can to avoid spending any more time within the first layer of the 9 hells of Avernus than you have to. But eventually, your quiet, peaceful march ends as you run into a wandering war party you see what looks to be 7 hellhounds marching, led by 2 Yorick, what you would recognize and what Zevran would also recognize from his readings. Narzagons. Hellish knights riding nightmares. Fiery halberds and lances decorate their weaponry as you see this in front of you. A river of lava separating the two of you, or the groups of you, but you know that these creatures do not fear that lava. They have no issue submerging themselves in it, the molten rock, to come to you. And given the racial disposition of all of you, they also know that none of you are susceptible to the magma in front of you. There are some pathways across, but you'll have to be very careful as the Narzugons both recognize, they see you, not recognizing who you are, but recognizing those not of Zariel's legion. They shout out,
Wanderers who are lost. We will take your souls and feed them to the hellfire cannons to fuel our war with the abyss. Attack them! Take their souls. Take their lives.
as the Narzugons, their nightmares, they rear them up. The hellhounds bare their teeth, ready to charge through the magma to take your souls and to take your lives. And on that note, that is where we're going to go ahead and end tonight's session.
Woo!
Yay!
So all of you, just so all of you know, within each one of the layers of the, each one of the 4 layers that you have to go through, Avernus, Dis, Minaris, and Felagos, each one of you, there will be a combat encounter in each one that you'll have to fight through. So I'm letting you know that now, in case that wasn't clear, so that way you know to conserve your resources. You'll only get a short rest between each of them, okay?
Oh shit.
I see.
Copy.
Okay. Alrighty. So, 4 combat encounters that you're going to have to navigate your way through. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. Great session. Very much enjoyed it. I will say be sure to tune in on Tuesday for the continuation of the Salamander Coast. Oh, wait a second. Let me not get too far ahead of myself. In case you didn't see in our Discord server, be sure to tune in tomorrow at 5 o'clock Central Standard Time for Roll Call, the 100th, and I guess 101 session retrospective of the
No, we won't talk about this one.
of the Isles of Iverion. Very excited to do that. I have some secrets that I'm ready to divulge. So be sure to
Love
tune in.
secrets.
It'll be a spicy one. Thanks for watching so far. Now Tuesday, Salamander Coast. Wednesday, Tales of Avernus. Or next Saturday to see. I'll go ahead and go to the combat.
Wait, I think Tales of Avernus we're not doing this week, right?
That's true. We're not doing Avernus
Oh,
this
that's
week.
right. Because of
Sorry.
no,
Yeah,
th-
man.
that is okay.
I haven't gotten this 100% confirmed. Might be doing a roll call with Nick since we had to kind of cancel
okay.
the last one.
Well, there we go.
That'd
I know
be
there was
awesome.
talk of a one-shot, but I haven't heard anything, so I asked Nick. He
I-
said he was game.
Let's do roll call.
Roll call!
It's
Roll
happening.
call.
It's
Roll
happening.
call.
We want some GAC roll call.
Yeah, we need some
Yeah.
GAC attack. Roll call. Wednesday for that. Next Saturday we will be doing the Isles of Iverion. Kayla will not be here, sadly. But I think our powers combined through these combat encounters, we can keep Nalthian alive and make sure that he does a lot of cool shit.
Woo!
Let him
Woo!
Navian only does cool shit.
True.
EY.
Facts. So thanks for watching. We will see you next time. That was weird. I don't know. There was a weird pacing to everything I said there.